Welcome in, everybody. It is Monday. Bases. The trade deadline has passed. The teams have settled in. We've seen their new guys start to play over the weekend, and now we're here to just forge ahead. The dog days, as they call it. It's August 4th, and got about 2 months to go the rest of the regular season. So I'm here with Brian Leonard and Tokyo Brandon, and we are going to start. I didn't even know this was a thing until earlier today. Apparently, we have a super chat, which I've now somehow managed to lose. And the super chat comment, how I lost it, that's just Monday morning right there, Brian Leonard. I've lost the comment somehow, even though it was starred. There it is. Where are the comments? Tokyo Brandon, where did you find it?
Click start. Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah, anyway, TV's on it. We want to know about the Orioles. And the Orioles are going to take on the Phillies, who not really late. Felt like it was late for me because I got some sun yesterday, so I was very tired. But last night closed out a 2-0 win over the Tigers to take 2 of 3 from Detroit this weekend. Now they take on the Orioles, Brian Leonard. Let's hit this one for DALG, D-A-L-G, in the comments. Phillies, Orioles. Phillies a pretty big favorite. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, we appreciate the request and obviously the money. Appreciate it. Thank you. Baltimore, Philadelphia. Povich coming back. A couple of lefties, Povich and Luzardo. Jesus, or Jesus if you're Tokyo Brandon. 193 is looking, something like that. Maybe 195 for Philadelphia. Total of 8.5 to the over of 25. 8.5 to the over 25. Povich, 2-5 on the season, 5.15 ERA, 6.33 expected, 1.50 WHIP. It's been a while since he's pitched. Let's take a look at the game logs. He has not gone since June 15th. He faced the Angels and actually pitched pretty well, but they sent him down to the minors, and he's back, and he's a guy that we were excited about going into 2024. He's not a guy that's going to blow you away with his stuff, but he is a guy that's supposed to be had pretty good control, and was going to be at least one of the future starters for the Orioles. Hasn't worked out that way. In 2 seasons, 5.18 ERA, 1.46 WHIP. You take a look at his StatCast page, it's basically all blue. Terrible numbers when it comes to expected ERA, first percentile, expected batting average 5th, average exit velocity 3rd, chase rate 8th, barrel rate 2nd, hard hit rate 1st. So if this is the same Cade Povich coming back here for Baltimore, I don't want a part of him. But he did get a lot of hype before he started up here in the pros. He looked pretty good in the minors. He does throw 5 pitches, mostly his 4-seamer at 37%, but it's about 1 mile an hour less than the average left-hander. Also, Jesus Luzardo, a guy who's really struggled a little bit at times this year. Other times he's been great. He's got 9 wins on the season, but he had a 4.31 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. Expected ERA much better. Well, I guess not much better, but 3.63, something more you would expect out of this Philadelphia starting staff. No extension. He's only 6 foot, 7th percentile in the extension, but he's got a lot of red on his StatCast chart. He's got 5 pitches. He does throw the 4-seamer more often, but it's a pretty good 4-seamer, 96.4, which is 3.3% or 3.3 miles an hour better than a normal left-handed pitcher. The line here looks to be a little high, if you ask me. Baltimore's hitting very well lately. Over the last 14 days, Baltimore's 2nd, right behind the Brewers in WRC+. So you got a good hitting Baltimore team. I think we've seen the worst of Cade Povich. He would probably be somebody. I'd like to see him come out and pitch a decent game here so we can get like a buy signal on him. But the way Baltimore's hitting, Philadelphia had that late game last night. I see a little bit of value here on Baltimore.
So Philadelphia is just a really good team, and they have such a good rotation here. I like to look at how pitchers have fared against the batters they're facing today, but no real sample size to look at here for these two teams. So the only thing to do is kind of compare everything else. Don't bet against Jesus, but today you might bet against Jesus because he's only ranked 16 out of 30 on a curve of 30. I don't have Cade Povich ranked because he doesn't have enough innings logged in the last 30 days. Neither bullpen's performing well. I have them both ranked 21, 22-ish out of 30. But Baltimore's been cranking the ball a little better than Philadelphia has. I thought Luzardo would be really good coming over from a bad team to a good team. He started out pretty good, kind of tailed off a little bit. But I would agree with Brian. If I were to play this, maybe the Orioles would be a decent chance here, even though they're not playing for anything and Philly's playing for everything. But man, Baltimore sure is hitting better than Philadelphia right now. So might want to take a flyer on them. I might not, though.
Yeah, I like how the Orioles have played the last week or two. You know, you talk about not playing for anything, and you're probably right. I think they're 8.5 games out of a wild card spot. Crazier things have happened, but they would take a pretty big surge to get them back in the mix. That being said, they've played arguably their best ball of the season the last sort of week or two. You know, something I talked about last week, and it totally burned me, was Orioles against left-handed pitching. I went against them twice in a doubleheader where they were opposing left-handed starters, and they played great. And they've actually done well a couple of times now. So they're sort of putting that to bed. I you know, if you look at their full season numbers on the road and against left-handed pitching, hasn't been great, but recently they've been better. And it's just, you know, maybe it's getting healthier. Maybe it's, you know, sort of switching the roster up a little bit. They called up a guy named Jeremiah Jackson that's been awesome at AAA in the minors, AA and AAA this year. He got the call. He was in the lineup yesterday. So I like the way the Orioles have played. And I'll talk about Povich for a minute because he's actually, you know, he's been hurt, but he's had quite an extended rehab. So he's been, they've really given him like the full sort of, I think it has something to do with not really having a spot for him / not wanting to run up his innings, because going back to Tokyo Brandon's point, they are a little bit, you know, out of it, sort of on the fringes right now. So he's been rehabbing for a month in the minors. 1 start, an A ball for Aberdeen, 3 starts for Norfolk. His numbers in July in his rehab stints in the minors are 3.38 ERA, but more importantly, a 207 batting average against and a 0.94 whip. Those are very good numbers for a starting pitcher. The Phillies, I've said this a million times, great hitting team, great team all around, but where you can maybe expose them a tiny bit is against a left-handed pitcher and maybe one that throws some junk, that keeps the ball off speed. That's really what Povich does. That's where he's going to make his money in this league, if he does, which I think we're in agreement that he's probably going to be in the league for a while. He's not like, he should be a starter in Major League Baseball for a few years. Like, that is his kind of upside. He was very highly rated if you go back to last year. He's going to keep hitters off balance. He's a southpaw. He's going to get lefties out, and he's going to kind of throw that, you know, that off-speed stuff in there. And we've seen left-handed pitchers make careers out of this, 10, 15 years of doing that in this league. So I'm higher on Povich than the market. I'm starting to come around on the Orioles. The only thing that even keeps me off of this a little bit is the fact that they're going against a lefty, because they have struggled against lefties this year a little bit. But I'd rather take I think I'm willing to take my chances that they can drum up some offense. I like the +1.5. So I'm going to put this in the parlay. Orioles +1.5. Brian Leonard, what do we have there for a price?
You surprised me there, getting in early here with the parlay. Let's take a look. The spread for Baltimore. Okay, we're looking at +1.5, -120, basically across the board.
That's great. I'll take that. You got the, you know, you do have the you do have a team coming off Sunday Night Baseball, which is not a huge deal, but I'm less concerned with the fact that they played Sunday Night Baseball and more concerned with like the way that game played out. It was just a tight game, and then it went down to the wire, and they sort of get the big win, use Duran for the save. Now they have to turn around and play again. I think that's, you know, it's just not the easiest setup, regardless of what night of the week it is. So again, a lot of reasons to like the Orioles here. You're getting the run with the road team. I think that's really good. That may even be a client play for me, but for now, it will go in the parlay. So great question right there. It led to a good discussion. That might even be a client play for me. So we will we will see. Jose Perez, good morning. We appreciate you guys tuning in. It's Monday morning. You're with us, so we really appreciate that. Like, subscribe, jump in the comments, and let's have a great week this week. Ethan Bainbridge, he's always here. We appreciate him. He wants to back the Giants in this spot, but doesn't want to back Verlander. I think that's the handicap, Brian Leonard. That's exactly how I looked at the game. I think it's a good spot for the Giants, but I don't necessarily want to back Verlander. Tell you what, I don't really want to back Jovan Ovidio either. Didn't know he was still in the league. So what do you see in there, Giants, Pirates?
Yeah, we're looking at Verlander, Oviedo. Verlander's money's come in a little bit on the dog in this one. We're looking at San Francisco about a 122 maybe, 8.5 to the over. Verlander, it was the last time out that he pitched better. Hold on just a second here. Let me look at the game logs. Last two starts for Verlander had been better. He played the Pirates last time out. And normally, if you play a team back-to-back, I am looking to go opposite of whatever happened the first time. First time out was the 29th of June, last time. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 6 hits, 7-1 strikeout minus walk ratio. Before that, he played the Braves. He did go 5 shutout innings, only gave up 1 hit, but he did walk 5 and only struck out 3. He had 2 starts in a row in which he, the one before that against Toronto, which he walked more than he actually struck out. Verlander on the season, he got his first win last time out, 4.53 ERA. 4.80 expected, 1.49 whip. His whip is really what's gotten to him the last couple of years, 1.38 and 1.49, despite having a 1.13 whip in his career of 20 seasons. He had a tremendous career, future Hall of Famer. But he doesn't really have any red on his StatCast page. It's all either middling or blue. His ground ball rate in the 14th percentile means he gives up a lot of fly balls. He's got 5 pitches he throws, 4-seamer mostly. He's still got decent 4-seamer, but it's below league average at 94.1. He throws it 47% of the time. That's the thing. He's got to get away from throwing that and be more of a pitcher and less of a thrower. And he's done that a little bit, but still, his numbers are not that impressive. Oviedo, he hasn't pitched in 2 years. He was a mainstay in 2023 through 32 starts. And this year, he hasn't done anything the last 2 years. He hasn't been in the majors. His extension is great. He's 6'6", 93rd percentile. Fastball velocity, 80th percentile. So his fastball is 95.8% or 95.8 miles per hour, which is about 1.5 better than league average. But that's his two pitches he works on for mostly the slider and the 4-seamer. He also throws a curve, sinker, and change. I think he's got a chance to have a pretty successful day here against San Francisco, a team that is still struggling to find their offense. Now, granted, their home games are in really good Pitchers Park. This is also a Pitchers Park, so I'm not sure they're going to find it in Pittsburgh here. But we're looking at Pittsburgh as the home dog. Pittsburgh's playing some pretty good baseball. I believe they're 7-3, their last 10 out. San Francisco still not playing well. I kind of look at Pittsburgh as in this game a little bit. I guess I would trust a guy his first day back in 3 years. Obviously, he can do a lot of things differently than what he has done 3 years ago. So he may surprise what San Francisco expects out of him here. We'll see how that goes. Slightly in Pittsburgh, but I agree. San Francisco, I think, is the better team. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're the better team. But till Verlander puts it all together, I'm not going to be betting into him.
Everyone, do us a huge favor and go to our pages and see what we have to offer. I have a 5% play today in MLB. You can grab that at my page. Brian will put something out. Adam will put something out if they haven't already. And we almost always put free plays up as well. Take the 10 seconds and go to our pages and see what we have up today. Regarding this one, the Pirates, this is another one where you got to cover the logo and just go with the data here. The Pirates, they're not a very good team, but they're 31-25 at home. And ranking wise, I have them hitting better than the Giants, and I have their bullpen better than the Giants, a lot better. I have them ranked 8 in hitting right now, and I have the Giants ranked 20. Bullpen, I have the Giants ranked 19, while I have the Pirates ranked 10. So Pirates have every advantage here that I can see. It's hard to, looking at a Pirate logo, it's hard to put money on it. But if you cover the logo and just look at the numbers, Pirates are playing a lot better than the Giants are right now. And Verlander is 1-8. So he did get his last win. I think it was his last start where he finally picked up a win. So maybe he's turning things around. He's a grizzled vet, and his wife is hot. But besides that, he doesn't have much going for him. I would say the Pirates have a really good shot of winning this one. I haven't bet it, but man, numbers wise, the Pirates look a lot better to me.
So here's a tough part about this one is tough to say much about the Pirates bullpen because they did trade some of those guys away last week. So, I don't know if I.
So did the other team they're playing today.
Yeah, they did. Yep, they did. I guess so. Here's what I'll be looking for from the Pirates, because I actually don't hate what they did. I know some Pirates fans felt like they should have gotten like a haul for David Bednar, but remember, David Bednar was sent back down to AAA a few months ago. So we need to slow our roll and think we should get a Mason Miller return for David Bednar. That's what I saw the Pirates fans sort of complaining about. I actually thought the Pirates quietly had a very productive trade deadline. The problem is they put these guys at AAA, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why is Cam Devaney at AAA? Why, maybe the guy that they got back from the Yankees, the catcher, I could see him being at AAA for a little while, but you would think these are guys that I think would help them at the big league level right now. So what I'll be looking for with this game, since it's Monday tends to be the day where the AAA doesn't play at all. So the minors are not, it's like a league-wide off day for minor league baseball. And you see a lot of the roster moves happen on Monday. It's almost become universal. Guys are the front offices come in and then they'll make 3-4 roster moves on a Monday morning. So that's what I'll be looking for with the Pirates, just to see if are we going to bring Devaney up? They've got Nick Solak down there that I think could help them at the big league level. And then the catcher, I think, was it Flores from the Yankees organization? I could see him down at AAA for a little while longer. So, but any of those moves would make me like the Pirates more. Now, Ovidio, the interesting thing with him, he's another guy that's had a long rehab. Tommy John surgery in 2024, or I think 24, maybe didn't pitch at all. 23 into 24. So he missed over a year with Tommy John, and he's been working his way back from it this year. In July, so 2 starts at A-ball, 2 at AA, and then he had 1 start at AAA last week. 183 batting average against, 0.90 whip, and a 2.16 ERA. So he's looked very good. And this isn't 1 or 2 starts. This is over a month because they had him in the complex in June. So he's thrown at the complex in June, and then he threw 5 live games in July, and he's looked very good. So I may have to admit being a little bit wrong on the Giants. They seem to be going in the wrong direction. I know they kind of got a win yesterday, but it's a tough one. I don't know if I can get to the window with this one, but I see why you guys like the Pirates a little bit. I guess I'm just going to really stay neutral there and not give much out. After the move, though, maybe a little value toward the Pirates. I'm seeing plus 115. Plus 120. Is that right, Brian? Is that moved that far at this point?
Yeah, we're looking right now. Bet Online's got plus 104. That's the low. Well, actually, Bet the MGM's down to even money. Still money coming in on Pittsburgh. I mean, it's the best number out there is 114, but anywhere from 100 to 114 on the dog.
So I think there was a little fake that just happened right there, because this was right when we got on the show, San Francisco got hit. I saw plus 115s out for the Pirates after they were a slight favorite this morning. So I wonder if this started to then get bet back down toward even. That's interesting movement right there.
A lot of times you'll get different syndicates trying to battle it out a little bit early in the morning too. So
for sure. It was good discussion. That's a very interesting game. One I'll certainly have my eye on. City by the Bay wants to know. I know he's a Giants fan. So we just talked about his team, but he wants to know, have you changed your opinion on the Astros? I'm going to let Brian Leonard go first and talk about, well, if he wants to chime in on that, he can. But let's talk Astros Marlins, because we had some developments over the weekend with these two teams. The Astros go to Fenway Park and get swept, and the Marlins, which you heard about right here about 3 months ago, that this team might be pretty good, are now one of the hottest teams in the league, and they sweep the New York Yankees. So, Brian Leonard, what is your opinion on the Astros, and do you have a play in this game?
Yeah, I think he's mostly looking for yours because you were the one that has been fading him. But it's been good to fade them lately. They haven't played well. Seinfeld, Jason Alexander on the mound today for Houston against Alcantara. Alcantara's pitched a lot better lately. Miami is basically a 125 favorite. It was lower. In fact, overnight, Houston was a 115 favorite. And as soon as we started the show, I was all set to use Miami here as my part of this parlay, but they took a lot of money now. So now I'm getting a lesser number here on Miami, but we're looking at about a 125 favorite now out of Miami and 8.5. And believe it or not, the Miami Marlins are a 500 ball club. They fought their way all the way back. And this is a team right now that got a lot of confidence. They swept the Yankees, which is something, I know we get a lot of people either love or hate the Yankees. We've said a lot this year that the Yankees are getting swept, and you don't usually say that. This is not the same team, and obviously they don't have their best player right now. But 1 minute the Yankees are a team playing good ball, next minute they're not, and here they are in the knot again. Jason Alexander, 2 seasons in the majors. Let's just go with that. 26 games, 14 starts, 5.92 ERA, and his expected ERA is about 5.25 overall. 1.67 WHIP. Nothing really strong on his StatCast page. Fastball velocity in the 12th percentile, so he doesn't have much of a fastball. In fact, he knows that, which is why he only throws it 10% of the time. Good for him. It's at 92.4. He's got the sinker, change, sweeper, four seam, and the cutter. Basically, he's a sinker change guy. 40% and 32%. Not somebody I'm usually going out there trying to bet into, and we'll see how long he goes in this game. Sandy Alcantara, take a look at his game logs as of late. Here we go. His last 2 times out. He played the Cardinals, 5 innings, no earned runs, 3 hits. He played the Royals, or excuse me, not the Royals, the Padres, 7 innings of shutout baseball, 4 hits, no walks. So he's starting to turn it around. You could tell a lot by the walks. And because we talked about that before the season started, if you're coming back from major surgery or Tommy John's, that kind of thing, your control is the last thing you get. In fact, if you look at what he had done originally, 4 walks, 0, 4, 2, 2, 5, that was his beginnings. Now he's for walks 3, 0, 2, 2, 1, 0. So he's been much better control as of late, and that is really helping him. Sandy Alcantara on the season, 6.36 ERA, obviously poor, but his expected ERA is 5.03, 1.42 WHIP, but that was mostly from earlier in the season. Fastball velocity, he's a very good fastball, 91st percentile. He only throws his four-seamer 22% of the time, so he's got a very good fastball when he needs it. His sinker, change, and a four-seamer and slider, and his curve, he uses all of them from 16 to 24%. I love that. This is a guy I'm looking to play on. I like Miami here. I'm hoping we can get a little bit of a buyback here on Houston, but I still may end up using Miami. That's my leader right now for the parlay. I like him, but I would have preferred the 115 or whatever that was there a little bit earlier.
Guys, do us a huge favor. Go to the replay of this and leave a comment and a like, and let WagerTalk know that you like our show, because maybe they think baseball is inferior to football, but we certainly don't. So let them know you like our show and that baseball rules. So here we go. Astros versus Miami. This is one where just straight up numbers are not going to tell you the exact story, because the straight up numbers, I have the Astros ranked higher than Miami at everything, but just a little bit higher. I actually have Jason Alexander ranked a little bit higher than Sandy Alcantara, which I don't actually think he's a better pitcher. But his prediction numbers, or his predictors, I guess we should say, his expected numbers, that's the word I was looking for, are really good, actually, even though his actual stats are bad. He's got a 7+ ERA and it's really bad, but Alcantara has a 6+ ERA. Neither one of these pitchers have great numbers, but Jason Alexander does have the better expected numbers. Both bullpens pretty good and pretty equal, and Houston's actually hitting a little bit better than Miami right now. So those are the numbers side. Now the eye test. Miami is just on a roll. Not only did they sweep the Yankees, but they won 2 in a row against the Cardinals right before that. They've won 5 in a row, maybe more than 5 in a row. They're just on a roll right now. Feeling good about themselves. I don't know if they're thinking about making the playoffs or not. But, you know, these guys aren't thinking that deep when they're out there. They're thinking about hitting a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. They're not thinking if they're going to the playoffs or not. They're playing for contracts. They're playing for next year, some of these guys. And, you know, I think I would agree with Brian. Miami, I think, would have the advantage, even though all of my numbers point the other way. So because of all these contradicting factors, I'm not going to play the game.
So I'll go back to the original question and address that first. Have you changed your opinion on the Astros, Trig? No, I still think they're I still think they finished third in this division, and I'll tell you what. Like, so I think the question is being phrased because they made a lot of the moves at the trade deadline. I tend to not like these teams that go out and sort of like remake their team at the deadline. Like, I much prefer a team that goes out and gets like maybe the 1 or 2 guys that really fit that are like the needs. Whereas like the Astros felt like they just went out and got a new lineup, right? Like, just who was available. Okay, Correa, bring him back. Great. Sanchez for Miami, great. Like, we've got Jeremy Pena coming back. Suddenly you got a very, you know, it's like a different lineup than they've had the last couple months. And like this, but this is still like a team that I look at and say they've really overachieved to this point. And I just don't think they're better than some of the other top options in the American League. So no, I don't. My opinion hasn't changed on them. Now, I played them yesterday, which I'm upset with myself for doing so. I really just wanted to go against Giolito in that spot. But no, my opinion has not changed about the Astros at all. They are still long-term a fade for me. Now, Stephen Fallon says, who would have thought the Marlins, a 500 team? Well, me, because I've been talking about them for 3 months, that they're like way better than their record. And to go back to Tokyo Brandon's point, they don't know any better. These are kids. Like, they don't know what like playoffs. These are young kids for the most part that are either in their first or second year. It's like their first taste of big league baseball. So in my opinion, they're very, very dangerous in terms of like there's zero expectations with them. No one's expecting anything from them. And, you know, you got guys like Kyle Stowers. I'm just going off the top of my head. Like, Paulie's been Graham Paulie was recently called up. Edwards was called up toward the end of last year, right? These are guys in like their first or maybe second big league season in a lot of cases. Agustin Ramirez, first full season at the big league level. They just don't know any better. They're out just playing ball. They're having fun. They clearly are having like a good time. If you watch Marlins games, like there seems to be a great vibe in that clubhouse. I think it goes a lot from like what they're doing at the lower levels in their organization. And Brian Leonard brought this up in April. They really like overhauled their organizational, like a lot of the coaching staff, and they're developing pitchers. And what it seems like they've done is develop a bunch of guys that can go out and throw 3 innings. Like, they don't have a great rotation, and Alcantara hasn't been great this year either. But from AAA, from the majors to AAA, they have a bunch of guys that can go out and throw 2 or 3 innings. It's why that over the last 45 to 60 days, they've had one of the top 5 bullpens in baseball. And so this is a team that I have zero interest in betting against. I could only bet the Marlins here. And that'll likely be the case for me until they go the other way, as we have seen young teams do. At some point, they're going to go the other way, probably lose a few in a row, and maybe play themselves out of this race. But for right now, you just got to ride the wave. Marlins are past for me here. Okay, Tom Roper, new member. Appreciate that. Kelly in Vegas told me we got to get those subscriptions. We have it's great that the same people are watching the show every time, but we need those subscriptions. So if you're not subscribed, do me a favor. So Kelly's not breathing down my neck, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because apparently we need those subscriptions to keep this thing going. And we appreciate Tom. I believe it's free. You just have to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Very much appreciated, or wherever you're watching. I think there's like a new platform. I don't know. I'm not up on like the technology stuff. I just come in here and talk about baseball for an hour and then go watch baseball the rest of the day and then come back and do it again the next day. So Jose Perez is what platform is that? Jose, drop in the chat what you're watching on. I think that's like one of the new ones. I don't know what logo that is, but anyway, we appreciate having Jose here every day. He wants to point out, the Red Sox are rolling. That was impressive this weekend. I got burned. I thought I had this great spot with Framber Valdez yesterday, Brian Leonard. I ended up getting a good number on the Astros, and the Red Sox just tore it up as they have been all weekend. Now they come in. They're still home. They're still at Fenway Park. Do the vibes carry on into this series with the Royals? What do you think?
Well, we got Bailey Falter coming over his first start in Kansas City. I do like what Kansas City did at the trade deadline. They're playing some pretty good ball right now. He's a lefty going against Brian Bayo. Bayo at home is about a 155 favorite, just about everywhere up to 160, but 155 for the most part. A total of 9 to the over or 9.5 to the under. So we're getting, I for the most part, I like pitchers who are taken from a team that is not going to the playoffs to a team that is at least in the playoff race, and that's Kansas City now. They're a 500 ball club. And I think it tells the pitcher that you are wanted and you can get out of a situation where your team was not playing well. Now, that's the good thing about Bailey Falter. His extension is 96 percentile, which is excellent, but everything else is in the blue, which is bad. Chase rate, 5th percentile, whiff rate, 4th, strikeout rate, 5th. Throws 5 pitches, is four-seamer the most. In fact, he throws it 45% of the time, and it's not very good. 92.2. So that's a concern. I'm hopefully coming over to Kansas City, they will make some changes in that, and he'll throw his four-seamer a little bit less, and that would help him out here. But he's got some lousy numbers. Overall, his ERA is 3.73, but his expected is 4.55, 1.18 WHIP. That's a pretty good WHIP for him this season. So he's doing some things right. Hopefully, Kansas City can get the best out of it. Brian Bayo comes in 3.19 ERA, 4.46 expected. Pretty lucky so far this year. 1.28 WHIP, ground ball rate, 85th percentile, and he's only 6'1", so that's really good for him. Average exit velocity, 73rd percentile. Hard hit rate, 75th. He's not going to blow you away with the strikeouts, 19th percentile. Whiff rate, 14th. Does throw 6 pitches if you count the slider, which is only 1%. So basically 5 pitches from 10 to 36%. His four-seamers league average. He throws at 17%. I like that. Most of these Boston pitchers are getting away from throwing the fastball, and I think that's why they've had so much success in that regard. So the line on this, as I mentioned, about 155 for Boston here. I like the way Kansas City's playing. I would prefer Kansas City, but I don't want to bet on Falter on the road here until I see that he's changing up what he throws. If I see this game and he gets away from throwing the fastball a little bit more, it'll give us some value on the future for him. But as of right now, I'll probably be passing on this.
So I've never been a Brian Bayo fan, but this year he's playing pretty well. He's odd because his away stats are a little bit better than his home stats, but I'd like to back him here. But when I dig a little deeper, I mean, I've got him ranked higher than Falter by quite a bit, actually. I've got Brian Bayo like a top 1/3. hang on a second. I've got Bayo like a top 1/3 pitcher in the league, where I've got Falter a bottom 1/3 pitcher in the league. I like Boston's bullpen a little bit better, just a little bit. Neither bullpen is very good right now, but both lineups are hitting quite well. And neither pitcher really walks too many guys. They're both in the acceptable range. I don't know. I like Boston's team total over perhaps here. I like to look at home and away stats here, but Falter's a guy who just got traded, so even his home stadium is technically away because he never pitched this there. So, yeah, I would lean towards Boston, either that or Boston's team total. But when I dig deeper, Bayo's stats against these batters not very good. Yeah, everything's kind of gridlocked and contradicting, so I'll probably stay off this game.
Yeah, I can't imagine I end up with a play here. I think someone asked about the total in the chat. I kind of made it right on that number of 9.5. So I don't really see much value there either way. I think but I guess human nature for me would be to want to fade the Red Sox because I played against them yesterday and I had my reasons to do so. But a lot of that was based on the fact that the Red Sox had some bullpen usage going into yesterday, and also Lucas Giolito, and neither of those things are affecting this game because they were able to win yesterday without burning their top bullpen arms. Obviously, it's a different starter, so I can't really go that route either. I do think this could be a competitive game, so again, that would lead me to think, okay, underdog, maybe take some plus money, maybe look at the plus 1.5, but I really do think it's priced correctly. So this is just one that I don't have a ton to offer, but we got to go to the chat. Jabroni says, important question, cats or dogs? I know Adam is a cat guy. Completely wrong. I have 2 dogs. My fiance is on the board of a dog rescue place here in Central New York. So we've got 2 we've got 2 pitties, like pit bulls. And if it was up to her, we'd have 10. But I told her we can't. 2, we just got this guy back in November. So there is you can see him right there. He's on my couch where he's not supposed to be. But dog person. And that is very much Mallory's doing. Like I said, if it was up to her, we'd take them all home. So anyway, I wanted to answer that question. Not much to offer the Royals Red Sox handicap, but wanted to let you know that. Slick Vic, my guy, if you can still get plus 470 on the Yankees to miss the playoffs after this weekend, you got to take that right now. Can we get the chat going here? Can you guys look like, what is that right now? Because it did get as high as plus 600 last week, which I could not believe. I think I got 5-1. Someone on the show, guys in the chat, were saying they got plus 550 when we talked about Yankees to miss the playoffs last week. If you can still get plus 470 on that and you haven't bet it yet, take that right now. Take that right now. They just got swept by the Marlins. There should be a much bigger price correction there, in my opinion, after getting slapped around all weekend by a 500 team from the National League. Now, the Yankees have a chance to redeem themselves, but Brian Leonard, I'm not quite sure that they're going to. Mark Hinson wants to know Yankees Rangers. How are you seeing that? And do you think that plus 470 is still a crazy price on that bet?
Well, they're right now, they've fallen to 3rd in the division, and Seattle is coming up there on Houston. They're only got 0.05 win percentage better than Seattle right now. So yes, I am a little bit concerned for the for the Yankees making the playoffs. And but I like the moves they made over the All-Star break, so I'm going to sit it out right now. We're talking the Yankees in Texas, a couple of lefties, Fried and Corbin. Fried, the road favorite, basically a 140 favorite. It looks like 7.5 slightly to the over. This is a really good pitcher's park this season. It helps that Texas has got some of the best starting pitching in Major League Baseball. Yankees, Max Fried, he's had some blister problems lately, but he seems to be able to make a start today. 2.62 ERA on the season, 3.38 expected, 1.03 whip. Very good numbers as you would expect. He's not getting much of a chase rate, 33rd percentile. Extension's nothing great considering him being 6'4", but his walk rate's been very good, 5.9% this year. Last year was an off year for him from the walks, but as of right now, he's got a 17.2 strikeout minus walk ratio, which is not great, but it's up there where we look for it. Like Max Fried, throws a lot of pitches. He got 7 different pitches he throws, and he throws a lot of off-speed pitches, which I really like. So he's a guy I like going up against this Texas team who's had some problems offensively this year. Obviously, as I mentioned, they play in more of a pitcher's park this season than in past seasons, and that has an effect on them. But Patrick Corbin, 3.78 ERA, 4.17 WHIP, ERA expected, 1.27 WHIP. Fastball velocity is only in the 12th percentile, and he only throws his four-seamer 3% of the time. That's why he's having a lot more success here. He knows he's getting older, and he doesn't blow people away with that. He's smart enough to keep it away. Slider, sinker, cutter basically is what you get out of him, and I think he can have some success doing so. When I take a look at the line here, as I mentioned, the way the Yankees are playing, I don't know if I want him here in this price range. I would prefer Texas. Obviously, Fried's a better pitcher than Corbin. You got to give him that. The bullpen for the Yankees eventually, once everybody finds their spot, will work out very well, and I think they'll be better come playoff time if they get there. But right now, slight lean with the home dog, but likely not going to be involved in this one.
So, guys, I have a 5% play up today. I'm sure Adam and Brian are going to put plays out. I have a free play up too. I'm sure both of my guys here are going to have free plays up. Go visit our page and check out what we got. It takes a couple seconds. Hit the like and subscribe as well. Yankees are just a mediocre team. And if you took the uniforms off of this same roster and put Kansas City Royal uniforms on this team, would you be talking about them this much? Absolutely not. Max Fried is their one really good player, minus Aaron Judge. This team's just mediocre. I mean, they're not good. I mean, they have a bad rotation. Besides Max Fried, are there any pitchers that you would have to have on your team? No. Their bullpen is mediocre. Their hitting is mediocre. They do have the best pure hitter in all of Major League Baseball, but he's injured right now. I heard he's coming back on Tuesday. Not sure if that's true or not. But this team, put a different uniform on them, and they suck. Sorry. But today, I have the Rangers and the Yankees basically even at almost everything. I mean, I have a line of statistics lined up here, and there's tons of variation, and these teams are less than 1 point apart in everything. That's how close these two teams are. Max Fried is a really good pitcher, and he's got great numbers against these batters that he's facing today in his history. He's a good home pitcher as well. The thing is, I'm sorry, he's a decent road pitcher as well. But the thing is, what does that mean? I mean, even though he's that good, I still have these teams less than 1 point apart, which is crazy. Patrick Corbin's got that stigma of being a terrible pitcher. And coming into the season, everyone except Adam probably thought he was going to have a terrible season. I know I did, but he's a very solid innings eater. He's on a curve of 30. I have him ranked 14, so above average. I got Fried ranked 12, so he's only 2 points lower than Max Fried. That's crazy. So I think the Yankees will win the game, but there's no way I would put minus 150 on them after trashing the Yankees. Now I'm going to say I would take them. So after I trash them, watch them just win the division now. That would be funny. Anyways, I'm not going to play the Yankees, but they'll probably win.
I'm now seeing what happened in regards to the Yankees to make the playoffs pricing. When we talked about them last week and I said it was a great bet, it was pre all the moves they made at the trade deadline. So the books actually liked the deadline they had. They thought they improved their team because I think the market price jumped to that 550, almost 7-1 range to miss the playoffs after their trade deadline. And what did the Yankees do? They turned around and got slapped by the Marlins all weekend. And so that's why it's starting to trend down. So actually, I see like some people in the comments, like we have one right here said he grabbed 590 yesterday, and someone else said they had 650, on Friday over the weekend. So that's what happened in regards to that. I will double down right here because I think this is the best bet I can give regarding these two teams right now. I would bet that now, even at plus 550, plus 5-1. I think there is a great chance the Yankees miss the playoffs, a lot of which, was talked about by the other two guys here. And as far as this game's concerned, I think the number's about right. I would have loved to have a scenario where the books mispriced this to the point where I could have got Rangers plus 1.5 at a good number. Not going to get that at this point. So I think the price is about right. But listen, the Rangers were a little bit unlucky this weekend. I thought they played pretty good ball, and they ended up dropping 3 of 4 to the Mariners in what really was like a pretty competitive series. They lose 3-4 on Friday. They lose 5-4 yesterday with a couple of plays that just went against them in the 9th inning. I think Bochy lost a challenge on one play, and then the Mariners maybe won a challenge on a different play, end up losing 5-4. So, that the weekend could have gone very different for them if the ball bounced their way. And yet here they are still in a huge game at home. I think they're like 2 back of the Yankees right now. Corbin's had a very solid season. He's a veteran, keeps his team in the game. And he's just one of those lefties that, I think could potentially keep the Yankees off balance. The one thing I like about the Rangers that I think really is going to start to matter, they have all of these solid depth arms in their bullpen. So they don't need to push a guy like Corbin into the 6th inning if they don't want to, because even though they lack the big-time closer, they didn't go out and get the Johan Duran. They don't have that guy on the roster. They've got a lot of guys that can come in the 5th and the 6th and throw an inning or two, shut it down. And I think the Rangers are going to be in a lot of games because of that. So slight lean to the Rangers here for me. Probably won't bet it, but again, I'll keep saying it. I think Rangers and the Mariners are finishing 1-2 in the West. I think the Astros will be 3rd. So I'm still high on them, and I would still look to play them here if anything. All right, we're rolling along. I've already locked. I kicked the show off, locked the parlay leg in the first game. We still have 2 more to lock in. Do either of you guys want to throw out a game that we haven't talked about yet? Or do like Brian, are you sitting there like, do I do it with the Marlins? Where's your head at right there?
Yeah, I think it's going to end up being here with the Marlins. You're getting it about 125. We'll go 125 here. Fading Houston. I'll play that. Miami, minus 125. And one of the reasons I still like it, there's a lot of people in the chat saying we're fools for playing Miami as the favorite. So usually when everybody disagrees with me, that's a pretty good bet. So I'll play Miami here, minus the 125. And yes, I am the fool that is playing Miami.
I very much agree with you. And we'll let TB close the show with his. We still have 10 minutes left. So I want to go to this game first because there's like 3 people that have asked about this. Colin Gregory says Guardians, Mets. Who better to talk about the Guardians than Brian Leonard? The Guardians they're hanging around. They're only a few games back of that last wild card spot. How are you feeling about them going into this series?
Before I get to the breakdown of the game, yes, I have not put my plays up. I usually don't put them up ahead of time, but there is a game I love. It's either going to be a 4 or a 5. Still working on that in my head. But in the next hour, I will have a really strong play in Major League Baseball. Yes, Ciccone against Manaea, Cleveland at the Mets. We're looking at right now about a 180 favorite for the Mets, 8.5 to the under, 8 to the over between these two clubs. Cleveland, Ciccone's he seems to look better when I see him. I watch the games and I watch just about every Cleveland game. He looks better on TV than his results are showing. He does have that 3.77 ERA, but his expected ERA is 4.99. Not much of a strikeout pitcher, 122 whip. The best thing he does is his walk rate, which is it's 7%, which is only 1.4% worse or better than league average. Barrel rate, 8th percentile, hard hit rate, 8th, average exit velocity, 8th, chase 10th. The Mets, if the Mets play to their talent, they can get to him, and I think they may do so. We're looking at Manaea going for the Mets, 2.08 ERA, 2.88 expected, 0.87 whip. He's been very good since he has come back from injury. It has not taken him a lot of time to get his control. In fact, his control has been better than it's been the last 2 years. Extension 86th percentile, and he's 6'5". So that ball gets on in a hurry. His fastball velocity, unfortunately, only in the 13th percentile. Not a big fastball out of him, 91.6, and he does throw it 66% of the time. That is my concern. So we've got two teams here going against each other, and I think may have some offensive success in this one. And as I mentioned, the total is anywhere from 8 to 8.5. Kind of like the over a little bit here, a little bit. I think both teams will find success, and Cleveland has faced, as I mentioned just the other day, they faced some really bad pitching staffs. We'll see if that continues here. The Mets are not a bad pitching staff. That may put slow it down a little bit, but yeah, let's take a look at that and just an opinion on the over.
Guys, go to the replay and leave a comment and a like and let WagerTalk know that you like what we're doing. It helps us out a lot, more than you know, actually, because WagerTalk reads all your comments. And if they're really good, then we get lots of praise. So help us out. I got a 5%. These two guys are going to put stuff out too. So go to our pages and check out what we've got. When you sports bet for a long, long time, you get these albatrosses that you stay away from that always get you. And Slade Ciccone is that one of them for me. I fade him. He pitches 7-inning shutout ball, and I back him, and he gives up 7 runs in 2 innings. So I always stay away from Slade Ciccone. Ever since he was a Diamondback, I stay away from him, far, far, far away. But I'll give you my thoughts on the game, even though I'm not going to bet it. The Guardians are cranking the ball right now. They rank 7 in all of MLB in run production, where the Mets rank 18. So check for Cleveland in that category. Bullpen, their bullpen was trash before the All-Star break, but man, have they turned it around. I got them top 3, but I got the Mets top 10. So that's current form, though. It doesn't mean that's what they are. It means that's how they've been performing since the All-Star break. But man, Sean Manaea, he's got great numbers against this team in his career, and there's no way I would be able to fade him here. Where it is, yeah, a 250 average against and a 663 OPS against in his career against these guys. He's got great numbers recently, and also he's got good numbers. Let's see, is this a home game for them? He's home, yes. Right? Yeah, and he's a great home pitcher as well. So I don't want to back the Mets because their hitting and bullpen are subpar compared to Cleveland, but starting pitcher, I give them the advantage, so I'm gridlocked here. So I'm not going to take it, and I can't stand betting Slade Ciccone games, so won't be doing it.
I mean, the Mets have the best bullpen in baseball, if you ask me, or at least like one. They're like top 3. I mean, they went out like they kind of quietly. I feel like they were the team that kind of quietly made the best moves over the deadline. So, like, I'm not saying that they had the most impactful trade deadline in comparison to some of these other teams, but you know, obviously the Padres, I mean, they made a lot of noise. They mortgaged the future essentially to get a lot of these guys. The Mets just kind of quietly went out, got another, 2 or 3 higher leverage relievers that are all very solid that I think, bolster the bullpen. They went out and got another outfielder. It wasn't like anything crazy, but I truly believe, listen, the Dodgers are deserving of being the favorite in the National League. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. If I had to put one team, if you said Trig, you could put one team up against the Dodgers. You can pick one National League team to sort of like rival the Dodgers as like who should be the co-favorite or who should be the number 2. For me, it's the Mets, and it's not even like a question. Like I think that this team, from the collection of pitchers they have is as strong as any, and their starters are not such that, like, I don't think management or the managers and what stuff, the ones making the decision on the bench and sort of putting the game plan together, feel like they have to push any of these starters super deep into games. It's going to let them really, really use the full complement of pitchers in that bullpen, which is as deep as any other team in the league right now, especially when you're looking at leverage arms after what they grabbed at the deadline. And then you talk about, like, I don't even think we've seen the full impact of Juan Soto yet. I mean, I just think that, like, if you look at what he's done throughout his career and what he did last year as the season went on for the Yankees, I think hasn't even hit his ceiling to this point. Like, he could be that much better. And then you talk about guys like Lindor and Pete Alonso, who we know have been able to, like, perform at the highest level. I still think there's so much room for the Mets to, as insane as that sounds, there's actually room for this team to get a lot better. And yet they're still sitting here, basically even with the Phillies and, like, second or third best record in the National League. So I'm very, very high on the Mets. The Guardians, I don't think the bullpen's good. I don't think this team is good at all. I know that they banged around the Twins a little bit this weekend. I fully expect them to play their way out of the race, and I'll be looking for spots to just ride the Mets this whole series, starting here. So strong lean to the Mets for me here. I really think they're just a very, very good good ball club. Okay. 9:57. Tokyo Brandon, do you know what you're going to close this parlay out with?
I do, and unfortunately, it's going to be a little anticlimactic, but I'm going to take the Tigers on the money line today against Minnesota. I'm surprised the line's even out. I'm seeing -165. Not sure what Brian has. Is it around 165?
Anywhere from 160 to 175. Minnesota hasn't released their pitcher yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is why I say it's a little anticlimactic, but out of all starters versus batters stats today, Casey Mize has the best stats of any starter against the team he's facing today. He's got a 182 average against and a 500 OPS against. As I've said previously, I look at 750 OPS as kind of the over under, whether you dominate them or not, and he's 150 points under. Great stats. He's a good home pitcher. And Minnesota, here's an interesting stat. At the trade deadline, Minnesota traded 40% of their roster away. So, man, do they have some holes right now? And do they have a lack of momentum? I was actually surprised they took game 3 against the Guardians, but they did. So Minnesota doesn't have a starter listed here. Casey Mize has great stats against these guys, but maybe it'll be an opener for Minnesota. And if it is, that's great because their bullpen ranks 26 out of 30, according to my numbers. So if it's an opener, great. That'll give the number 6 lineup in all of Major League Baseball plenty of chance to tee off on a horrible bullpen. Minnesota's hitting 25th out of 30 right now. So they're the only team that I have ranked 25 or lower in bullpen and batting. So yeah, I think the Tigers are going to handle business. Great home team, and they just got clobbered, so they're going to be a little bit angry. Give me the Tigers here for my parlay leg.
I don't know, about 165.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too.
Brian, what do you think about that game? We have a minute or two left, so we might as well just finish the breakdown of Twins Tigers here.
Yeah, I watched that entire series for Minnesota. They've got a weak lineup. In the bullpen, the major concern I have for Minnesota right now is they traded away their 3 best arms in the bullpen. That's a major concern. They played pretty well against Cleveland, but like I said, Cleveland is playing a lot of bad pitching staffs, and Minnesota's the same way. So, yeah, I would definitely play Detroit here. I'm not a Casey Mize fan, and the line is not crazy, although I wish Detroit was playing better ball right now.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Mick Abel starting at AAA yesterday. I would have fully expected him to just join the Twins rotation after, kind of making that move. Maybe he will this coming weekend when they're home. But that was surprising to me that he was put back to AAA, because I just felt like you're trading for him. He's already been to the big leagues. Like it's an odd thing the Twins are doing right now, because even after making those trades, they're only about 6 games out. But it certainly feels like this is a team that really feels like they've waved the white flag on this season.
Yes.
Like it is that I don't think that this team's going to come back from that. Now, there are some interesting pieces at AAA. Give it 3 weeks, and then come September, when some of these guys get up, when Keschel is back, or they bring up the couple of guys from AA that just got to AAA, Gonzalez and Fedco, like some of those guys, they could be an interesting team in September when the value is completely swung in the other direction. But right now, I still feel like they get a little love from the books for being the Twins. And this is like a developmental team right now. Like I think you got to kind of just continue to fade them. And you're talking about a Tigers team that's got to be a little pissed off. They just dropped 2 of 3 from the Phillies in what was a series that they could have won all 3 of those games. I mean, I thought the Tigers played very good ball this weekend and probably deserved better than losing 2 of those 3 games, but they were playing against an elite opponent. Now they get the Twins. I think, again, I'm with you, Brian. I'm not a huge Mize guy, but I also really don't care for anything the Twins are doing right now.
I agree.
So I would have to I'm with Tokyo Brandon, with you. I think it's Tigers or pass. We've hit 10 o'clock. Let's run it back. The parlay today, plus 430. We are plus 7.4 units on the parlay this season. That means for every $1, if you were to play them all equally, every $1 risk has returned $7.40. Listen, we're in August. That's pretty good that we're still ahead on these, and we're trying to stay that way. So today's parlay, plus 430 odds. We have 3 full game sides. So make it nice and easy for you guys. It's Orioles plus 1.5, Marlins money line, Tigers money line, plus 430. We've got Orioles plus 1.5, Marlins on the money line, Tigers on the money line. That's the 3-teamer. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Almost 1,000 of you in here live today, which we really appreciate. If you did join late, remember, we're always on demand over on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Head over there, give us a like, drop us a comment. It does help. And we'll see you guys in the morning. More Total Basis tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. See you then.
Hey guys, welcome back to Wisecracks. Bill Krackenberger, John Orlando over here at the wonderful Westgate Superbook. We were just talking about their contest just now. It's right in front of us here. The Survivor, they have a $5,000 Survivor here, up to 16 entries right now. So it's downtown they have a $1,000 one, which is the big one. But they're gonna have this will be a good contest.
You'll be in it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in it. Yep. The Super Contest, we have 137 right now. I was just informed that it's $1,500 an entry. These will all go up though. The College Contest, $500, 170. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun. These are really cool contests. Super Contest Gold. It's a lot of fun times here in Vegas. These contests are great. Give you action all year long. No juice. They have a party I was just told about. We'll help them advertise that a little bit. The wonderful, unbelievable Superbook. How you doing, John?
I'm good.
You all right?
I'm good.
What's up with that hat?
You don't like that hat?
I was just in L.A. for poker. It's a poker hat, right?
Yeah.
I was just in L.A. You know where I stayed? The Bike.
How was it?
Stayed at the Bike.
It's nice.
Outside the Bike, you might get killed, but inside, it's
Right.
fine. No, I was surprised.
The Bike is nicer than Commerce.
I was surprised how packed these places are. Commerce, and this is Monday.
Yeah.
This wasn't Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
Packed.
Right.
Couldn't move. I mean, I couldn't believe, there was no tournaments or anything, but Monday night was really packed for poker. And they have the sickest, I like playing limit hold'em.
Yep.
They had 2 40-80s, a 60-120. They had some really good games.
How'd you do?
I won $1,200. But I want to tell you something. I was just about to say, the games are so tough for me. First
Why?
night I played 40-80, and I guess I'm not loose enough. I lost the first night.
Oh, they're always in.
I lost 2,000 the first night. Second night I played 40-80, then 60-120, and a little 20-40. I played the whole day.
Limit plays higher than no limit.
Listen,
It's not even close.
there was some pots where I had look up and the pot's capped, and I look down to see 2 kings. Like, you know, I knew it. I know I'm losing the hand. You know, it's like you know you're losing. But I ran good. I ran in the 2040 game on Tuesday. That was 2 days ago. 2040 game was wild.
Really?
I was in that game for a couple hours and got back 900. Like I said, the first time I lost 2,000. Wound up winning $1,160.
Now, when you're in there,
Yeah.
a lot of people recognize you in there too.
I had some people recognize us.
Oh,
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I had
like
people. I had people talk about gambling and you know, in general, you know, going to LA. I don't know. It just felt. I'm not an LA guy. It felt like old and outdated. Like I haven't been there in like 5 years. It just feels like there's more homeless in there.
Oh,
than
it's
what.
insane.
Oh.
The homeless is a big
It just
problem.
feels like. I mean.
and the traffic is just out of control.
Traffic was crazy. I thought everyone moved.
You sent me a screenshot. You were on the freeway going to the pizza place.
I went to your pizza place.
La Monica's New York Pizza.
La Monica. You know, you need to stick to television reruns.
Come on.
No, where you know the answers and not pizza. No, the pizza was that.
Okay,
It was
okay.
decent. the pizza was decent. They send the doughs from
New York or something.
Brooklyn.
Do they? I don't know.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you like the mural?
Listen, I did.
Yeah.
And for LA,
Yeah.
it was very good pizza.
Okay.
But if you're in New York, that's, you know, average. But however, it was good though. Listen,
Okay.
I have no problem with saying
What
it was
about
actually good pizza.
The sausage, though, the actual
Sausage
sausage
was
is
good.
thin.
The Sicilian was good. I had sauce on the Sicilian.
Yeah.
The employee there, and I forget his name. I'm sorry. He was so nice. They were so friendly in there.
Yeah.
And
it's quick. It's crispy. The crust.
The
is
crust.
crispy,
The
it's good.
crust was crispy.
Okay.
It was good for LA pizza.
You'd go back.
I'd go back.
Okay.
Yeah. You understand how much of a craziness? So it was where I was. It was like 45 minutes to back to the bike, and because I was at. Oh, I went to go to the graveyard. I went to some graveyards.
Right.
No, because I'm
You
crazy.
text me.
I text you. Audrey Meadows, some of the biggest stars of all time. I mean, Bela Lugosi. I wanted to go see my grandfather.
Oh, wow.
named Bela.
Dracula. The original Dracula.
Very good.
Hey.
Buried in his cape.
Really?
Yes.
Where is he?
He well, you mean like what cemetery?
Yeah.
I only went to one cemetery. I can't think of the name of it now.
Not
Holy Cross.
Westwood.
Holy Cross.
Is that what? No, not Westwood.
Not Westwood.
Okay.
Holy Cross. But I went there for. I'm a honeymooners guy. I loved Audrey Meadows. I wanted to see her.
Do you do you search?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I can't believe I went to the place where you go into giant cemetery, by the way.
Right.
And I go in. And I ask for a map of like any. I know all these people are buried there. I said we don't have that. So I had to go on YouTube and find out like. The reason I went there really was Audrey Meadows and John Candy. I love John Candy.
Because the next question I was going to ask you, which might sound morbid or weird, was: is there a gift shop?
And
Like-
I've been to
like-
cemeteries all over New York where like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Billy Martin. I've been to these cemeteries. They give you like the whole tour things, walking, guided, on audio. LA doesn't do that.
I would think it's a great way
Nothing would surprise me in
for
LA.
their estate to make money too. Like there's probably fans that would want something. I don't know.
But some really famous. Let me just see. You know, I don't mean to be morbid either, but some really famous graves there. Like I said, Jack Haley. This is Wizard of Oz, and so Ray Bolger.
Wait, who is Jack Haley in The Wizard of Oz?
He is the lion, I believe.
Oh,
the Cowardly
okay.
Lion.
I didn't know that.
The Tin Man is the other one. Bing Crosby, buried there.
And when you're there, are you running into other people doing the same thing you're doing?
You know, it's amazing. I never did before. It's a new thing now. I mean, my guy, the Hollywood Graveyard on YouTube, he's got like 400,000 subscribers. He gets millions of views. I love the guy. Yeah, Sharon Tate. So this is just some really, really cool.
Sharon Tate, this are all at the same place?
This wasn't even a big. This is like one of the
I
smaller
guess
ones.
in LA, there's only
Jimmy Durante.
What, 5 choices? I mean,
Jimmy
give or
Durante.
take?
This was a big one. It's before me, but I know she was absolutely gorgeous. Rita Hayworth.
Oh,
I know
sure.
she was gorgeous, and Rita Hayworth, and there's Audrey Meadows, which I love, the honeymooners. So,
Wow.
yeah, pretty cool though. You know, like I said, just pretty cool how. Then I went over. Of course, I'm in Westwood. You sent me there.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to go to Marilyn Monroe.
Right.
I'm right there.
I mean, you're in the neighborhood.
I'm kind of mad that you Hefner's next to her. Bothers me.
Yeah?
But, yeah, there's Marilyn Monroe. And, of course, Dean Martin.
That's like the most famous, like the...
Dean Martin. Yeah, Westwood is a real
has the
small
most
cemetery.
celebs,
Walk around
right?
it. Carl Malden.
Freddie Prinze is there, I think.
Who?
Freddie
Freddie
Prinze?
Prinze is there.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Kirk Douglas.
Wow.
This is just me on a video at Westwood. By the way, a lot of people doing this too. I did this years ago.
This is a dumb
before
question.
anyone
But
did it.
you don't pay to get in, right?
No.
You just go.
How about this grave right here? No, not marked at all. George C. Scott did not want his grave marked. So Walter
Really?
Matthau, and of course I'm going over here. Irwin Winkler, giant names in the business.
Rocky franchise.
yeah. Of course, this is.
That's Mickey Mantle? No.
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, Mickey Rooney, maybe?
It just says Mickey on it, but I had to go this cemetery. I know there's Maryland's in there and stuff, but I had to go for my guy Rodney. I love Rodney. Merv Griffin, I will not be right back.
This is crazy.
Look, Merv,
this minute. Yeah.
I will not be right back.
That's what it said?
Yeah, Farrah Fawcett, Ryan O'Neal. I didn't think Ryan O'Neal was dead yet. Maybe that might just be Farrah. That might have his name on there. But of course, Rodney, who is the great Rodney Dangerfield, and on his stone, what do you think it could say? Nothing more than, there goes the neighborhood. That's what Rodney says. Rodney, there goes the neighborhood. Great, though. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Just, I got people think I'm a little weird there. But anyway, I went to your pizza place there. Decent. You know, if you ever stop in Barstow, it feels like a scene out of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, you notice this?
Of course.
I go to this place called Jenny's, a little Mexican.
I know
By
it.
the way, you know Jenny's?
Only because my sister's name is Jenny. It's to get the heart. Jenny's Cafe.
No, you're thinking Jenny's Cafe. I know what you mean.
Oh, what
I know
are
what
you
mean.
talking
I
about?
think that's a whorehouse. It is what it is, John. A lot of rich guys and famous people, they love doing this stuff. It is, like I said. But Jenny's is a little cafe, Mexican restaurant in Barstow. That's
like near like McDonald's.
If you're coming from Vegas, Main Street's on the right. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
Her and her family are in there cooking the food for you, homemade.
Really?
Listen, my friend, you know my friend, he actually offered her Jenny. He's like, listen, you have to come to Vegas. I'll pay for everything. He's had many restaurants in his life. He said, I'll pay. I'll put you. She says, no, I'm good, senor.
He was literally like, let's open a restaurant.
He's owned 29 restaurants. Yeah, he wanted to open. They're great. The family's in there cooking for you. Unbelievable Mexican food. Unbelievable. Jenny's. By the way, don't expect nothing fancy. It's a little dive. And by the way, the lunch specials are like $8. And it packs them in. Don't go 12 to 1. It packs them in. But I go there all the time. Love Jenny's. I wasn't even meaning to talk about them, but it just happens. The bike. The bike has really good food. But
the bike has great food.
I can't do what people do. They pull up the stuff to the table. Like they pull it up right to the table. I can't eat touching the cards, touching the thing. Yeah. I can't do that. But they have like excellent food. I had Mediterranean food that I'll put up against anything. Which is really, really good.
And the rooms are nice. Hotel rooms.
The room was fine.
Yeah.
The room's absolutely fine. Like $180 all in.
Now, I heard they remodeled, I don't know if you remember the bike's layout, but when you first walk in now, that's table games, not poker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all table games, poker's to the right. Yeah. So anyway, listen, we had this party, and the reason why I went to LA, the reason why I went to Beverly Hills, we had this show premiere that I was in, this movie about Vinny Favorito. And I went to their premiere. It was on Crescent in Beverly Hills.
Yep.
Crescent and
I know that theater.
Crescent and it was a Crescent
Wilshire.
Theater. Wilshire.
Yep.
Crescent and Wilshire. And even there I noticed it wasn't the best. It wasn't like the best areas over there. And that used to be okay, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, that's Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
It's literally Beverly Hills.
Literally Beverly Hills, and it wasn't the greatest. I was actually pretty surprised.
Yeah.
Professional crashers.
Crashers.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
like premier crashers.
10 people came in because it's right on the corner there to get the free food. No, it's a sickness. So I know about. If you look up Jerry the Crasher from Chicago, you'll read about what Jerry does. He's been to Super Bowls, been there. There was 10 people in this event that crashed the event just to get the free food. I'm online with a couple people, and I watched these two girls like barrel their way right in front of me, take the food, and walk out the door.
Come on.
Oh no, there was money. There was many though, but I knew ahead of time. I knew there was a couple guys that shouldn't be in there. I could tell by their mannerism. By professional crashing. It's a real thing. They came in and grabbed all this beautiful, by the way, prepared by hand food. We had some really good. The guy that ran it, he hired magicians, Elvis guy, singers, and beautiful chefs to hire to make things in front of you. It was really unbelievable. But there
How
was
was the movie?
crashers. Well, I thought the movie was great. I didn't know I was in so many scenes.
Really?
I thought I was in like 2. I was in 10.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah. So it's Vinny Does Vegas, story of a Las Vegas con man, Vinny Favorito, total con man. But one of the funniest break balls comedians that
So
I've ever
funny.
seen in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm friends with Dice. I've been around Dice, been to his house with his kids. I love Dice, but Vinny is like the best break balls comedian. All he does is interact with the audience and just break balls.
Yeah.
And, you know, he talks about every race.
He's probably the
including
closest
himself.
thing we have to Rickles.
Definitely.
Right?
Yes, he comes right out of the Rickles era
Yeah.
for sure. You know, my friend Don died. Don Albaum.
Yes.
He was on our show
I
a couple
know.
of years ago. Don Albaum in the Boxing Hall of Fame, and we really. I actually may go for the funeral and pop right back here. So we'll see what happens next week. I thought these guys wanted to get on. We're talking so loud there, right? You know, I mean, I don't get it. They see cameras.
I
There's
know.
just no common sense.
The other one was standing back
Yeah,
here
he's
for a
okay,
minute.
but I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, Don was a great guy. Been around forever. Boxing Hall of Fame, and he called me every week and told me about what was going on for the following week. Really cool. John,
I want to see what was that last
Go
note
ahead, what?
you had?
What is
that
it?
last note for him? What's
I'm in Santa Monica at Panera Bread.
which I only ask because I love
Yeah.
the pumpkin muffin tops.
I
They sell just the top of the muffin.
Panera's good.
Yeah.
They have a cinnamon crunch bagel. It's excellent.
Yeah.
Put you in a nursing home and eat enough of them, but they're good. So I'm in Santa Monica, and I mentioned to the guy I'm with in Santa Monica, I actually mentioned to him, I said, oh, Don Albaum just called me. A lady at the next table gets up and says, Don Albaum, that son of a bitch is still alive?
Stop.
Swear to God. And this is about 15 years ago. Don would have been like 80. I mean, I was like, yes, ma'am. She goes, you tell that son of a... Just so happens that Don used to live with her. It was his girlfriend. They obviously had a bad falling out, and he just left. I guess but yeah, I didn't know if I wanted to tell the story or not. But
Sorry.
it was on there.
That's
so
funny, though.
I might as well tell the story. I mean, yeah. John, let's go into Heritage. So let's give Heritage their shout out.
Yeah.
HeritageSports.eu. Again, they're doing this 100% welcome bonus. I don't even get it. So
To any amount?
Listen, it's going to be limited for sure. But it's go right to the site, HeritageSports.eu. Like I said, been around a long time, and I hit learn more because I do want to find out.
Reloads up to 50%.
Reloads if you were a lot of existing customers.
Yeah.
So there is some structures to
Yeah.
it. 20% reload, then move to 30, 40, 50. But you could just go there, and they have a safety net bonus. Get back money if you lose. Heritage Sports, been around 30 years, HeritageSports.eu. So, now, I hate to go to another bad thing here, but I do want to talk about it because it's Las Vegas. So this shooter that killed these poor people in New York City, he went into the wrong elevator even.
I heard.
He was going to kill the NFL executives at the NFL
And for
building.
what? What? It's just. And this guy
He says he had CTE and he had from playing high school football
And he was a cop at one point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know he was working. He was working here in Las Vegas as security.
Yes,
surveillance.
he was former Metro.
He bought.
Pretty sure I read that.
Really, he bought the gun off his supervisor, which legally, and he had a carrying permit and a
Yep.
concealed weapons permit. Not for this gun. He had it for his handgun, like you and I have. But this is such a sad story. I seen the one girl that was buried the next day, a girl that they had the bet. It was just so sad reading I read the New York Post every day. Really sad reading this, and he's from Las Vegas, and he wrote a letter, and in this letter he said sorry to the person that he bought the gun, sorry to his mom, he loves his mom. Like he must have he had career mental issues. I read and
drove.
He drove.
You couldn't fly with that, so I mean,
I don't know if he could drive with that gun. He had like a big,
AR-15 or something.
whatever. Yeah.
What a
He went up
crazy
the
thing
wrong
to do.
elevator. This is off the ESPN site. Let's see if they can get this right. They can't get pick a game right. Let's see if they, he was on psychiatric medicine, epilepsy medicine prescribed to him. He purchased a rifle from a supervisor job at the Horseshoe that they said AR-15 style rifles. I don't know, for $1,400. He bought it legally though, and yeah, the victims' funerals were just so sad. Watching yesterday, seeing some of the. I really got really upset reading some of the things. And then I seen the Sharon Osbourne. She looked so terrible with Ozzy. I seen the New York Post really covered that. And I just felt so bad. Being a big Ozzy fan, my wife's a big Ozzy fan years ago. We lost some people, man. So anyway. Yeah, just
what an awful thing, man. Just so senseless, you know?
Yeah, he bought the rifle from the casino.
He ruined so many families by
ruining so many
like
families.
That. It's just
so Betfair, John, which is a big sports book internationally in Europe. Betfair was fined $563,000.
Wow.
Very, very big penalty for. It's actually one of the biggest fines ever. Now, their penalty.
Wait, did that say in Australia?
They're
based in Australia?
Well,
Okay.
they're in Australia. This fine was given to them because what they're these promotional offers that come over. I talked about it on my other show, my recent show, for a different company, one here in the States. But these promotional offers, when this person received 148 texts from the company and emails of untargeted advertisements in the form of these texts. So they can't just keep on going after people. And it's almost predatory.
It's a little excessive.
Gamblers.
Yeah. I mean, over what? Do you know over what period of time that
I don't know, but it was enough for them to get fined.
Right.
Let me tell you something. When these gaming agents and gaming departments that are policed the casinos, normally they're on the side of the casinos because it's real simple. They wouldn't have jobs if it wasn't for them.
Right.
So, and people tend to cry a lot for certain things.
Yeah.
We've seen it here with Betfair. We've seen it here in the country recently. Another case back in New Jersey. So it's, these sports books and online casinos, they hire casino hosts. And the casino hosts are texting people, going after people.
Right.
So we see that they're constantly going after people. How you doing, sir? They're going after people, and they want to. It's predatory. So they keep on. They're losing their money, and they keep hitting them the most. Hey, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Keep on playing. A bonus this week. And
in your opinion, when is it too many? Like, is once a week okay?
148 text messages in 2024. This guy says that's too many.
Yeah, I feel like once a week is okay. Like
maybe in an email, but you can opt out of these things.
Right?
I would think you can opt out of these things too.
I think 52 times in a year should be.
Yeah,
good.
It's really too much.
Yeah.
As you can see here, this comes from casino.org. The DraftKings one, deceptive marketing, and the New York shooter was on there. This is I do get some information from this site though.
Yeah.
What's going on with poker? Anything, John? I want to ask you.
No poker. No poker.
That's it. Party's over.
Well, there is a series at the Wynn.
Oh. Okay.
In August, Bill.
When's the seniors play?
I'll look.
All right,
I gotta look.
All right, I'm
Would
in.
you play? Wait.
No. I'm in.
Okay,
for you.
okay.
Whatever.
All
How much
right.
does it cost? I'm in.
I'll look.
All right, find out.
Look.
We'll go.
Let me look. I'll look it up.
We'll put you.
You're gonna make me put glasses on.
Yeah, imagine how. I don't know what happened to any of our money.
You don't have contacts? Nothing?
No, for what?
Come on, you read that. No problem. Just so you know, all that right now. For me,
that's big letters. You have to read that.
I read it, but it's blurry. Like 80. Is that 8?
60.
Wow. Okay, it looks like an 8.
Wow, it's all over.
Is that a typo? It's weed?
Yeah, that's a typo.
Okay.
That one's a typo. Good, all right,
good.
You got it. You're okay.
But I can't read. Just so you know, on the left side here, none of it.
Wow.
That says Hollywood something.
Happen. Yeah, Hollywood. It's going to happen to everyone. Yeah.
Hollywood. What does that say?
Hollywood land. Someone told me to see this podcast.
Oh my God!
Someone said you got to see this podcast called Hollywood Land.
That's crazy.
So I said, okay, I didn't see it, but I would.
Let me look for this senior event here.
Find that senior event.
I like Bill Krackomberger wants action.
Yeah. So I seen a cashier playing Keno on break. Boy, I don't think the casinos should allow their employees to gamble.
I agree with you.
I mean, you're
not here. Make them go somewhere else.
It wasn't here though. But still, I was in a casino.
No, I just meant not in the casino you work.
I don't think you should be allowed to play in the casino you work.
I agree. It's too close to home.
I seen a waitress playing on break with their little name tag and the
Yeah.
same casino. Keno, by the way. It's
Yeah.
only the worst bust-out game in the casino.
Yeah.
25% hold. People love Keno. I don't get it. It's this slow-moving game, I guess, and it's just you can play video poker. It's like a 1-2% edge.
Yeah.
Keno is literally 15, 20 times worse than that in cases. So, but I didn't like seeing that. The local population, though, is made up of gamblers, man. They love gambling. So I just try to be a little more responsible and teach them responsible gambling. Even though I gamble every day, but I gamble differently. I look at casinos differently. I go through,
Right.
and I just look at the machines differently. I look for advantages. I look for progressives. I look for machines that have like the bonus whores going after them and sour rooters. I'm not a sour rooter though, but I like. My definition of a sour rooter is someone that stands behind someone, waiting for them to get off the machine, or sits behind them, waiting for them to get off the machine, and they jump on when the bonus structure's right. Now, a lot of casinos are cracking down a little more on this, but I do see people still doing that. I'll casually walk by and check them, no problem, but I don't
Right.
sit behind. Did you find anything?
August 24th.
August 24th, is it 1,000?
No, it's cheap though.
Oh, it's cheap?
It's $400.
$400?
Yeah.
Probably too cheap for you. You're a big shot.
You know,
You probably won't
I
play
feel
that.
like we should start eyeing
The
the.
seniors, you can't do anything else.
What is that? What do you know how insulting that is?
I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not trying to.
Come on, we want the big ones, don't we? The big ones, Bill.
You're like the guy that goes to the crap table and says, "Give me $1 each, high low."
How about the 1,100, 400,000 guarantee? Now we're talking. September 5th.
I need to get a full, complete physical. Make sure you're okay mentally, and glasses and everything like that.
It bothers me. You don't need these.
No, I have glasses for billboards, long distance.
But when you read a
Sure.
menu in a restaurant, you're
No.
all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Damn.
Yeah.
You eat a lot of carrots?
I like carrots. The carrots has nothing to do with
It's a myth?
I
Doesn't
think
help
it's a
your
myth. I
eyesight?
do eat carrots though.
I don't know.
One of the only vegetables I eat: carrots, broccoli, cauliflower. That's it. Really don't eat. I mean, I
Oof.
haven't had a salad since the '90s. Yeah, yeah. I'm working on that. Though. But
Bill,
anyway,
you ever think about doing stand-up?
no, I'm not trying to. I'm being.
But I think you would be
I'm
funny.
being factual though.
I
I'm
think
not
you'd be
really
funny.
trying to be fun. I wasn't really. I mean, it's true. I mean, I used to like those table side places that make salads, like downtown at the Four Queens. Of course, I can't think of a restaurant. That's downstairs.
I went there with
Cellar.
you.
You go cellar.
I went there
Oh,
with
went
you.
there. That's right. My God, I like the table side prep salads. It's cool.
Yeah.
So, someone asked a question today, and I like to go ask Westgate.
Okay.
I like to go ask John Murray too. If you sign up for the $100,000 contest down at Circa,
Yeah.
but it could be any contest. What happens if you put an entry in your name and something happens to you, you die? Can the proxy still continue to put the picks in? I put my own picks in, but then I have to give you the stuff, and you put them in, and somehow you try to scam money out of it. But I get somebody else. I find somebody that I know I can trust, and boom, see, boom. That's it. Maybe I should do the comment.
Yeah, it's good.
But like JH or something, give him the contest, and he puts the picks in. It goes. I'm still under my name. Does it go to my family?
It's a great question.
You know,
I lean towards no just because
I
feel like the casinos look to not pay.
Someone texted me or DM'd me today, and if I can find it real quick, Bama Slugger, here he is, Bama Sluggers, and he sent me the circuit of the rules. I'm sure they're the same here. He said, look at line 24. So if a contestant dies during these contests, the contestant, and if he's owed any money from winnings, then pursuant to the executor of the contestant's estate, showing Circa Sports Management both a death certificate of the official contest and documentation that he or she is the executor of such estate, then Circa will make payment as a form of cash to the estate.
You're getting paid.
So I'm saying yes now.
Yeah, you're getting paid.
And I'm saying that Westgate does the same thing
I agree.
over here. So, because my buddy from Myrtle Beach is out of his mind. He wants like 2 entries. But anyway, he wants to know though, so I thought it was kind of interesting.
Wait, does he want to know because he's not feeling well? What does that mean?
No.
Okay.
He wants to know because I'm putting one of them. We're going partners in.
Oh.
Like we're gonna we're going to be in a partnership. So, yeah, it's kind of
Morbid.
Yeah, but you have to think like that.
No, I know. Yeah, for sure.
Don't you think like that?
Something could happen. Yeah.
You know, I seen something about this online gambling is the next opioid, like pandemic, like drugs was or whatever.
Yep.
You know, John,
Epidemic.
we don't do it here.
Yeah.
We don't bet on our apps. I talked about it this morning on a different show too.
I don't.
But we don't bet on our. Well, I'm sorry, not bet. We don't play casino games. It's not legal in Nevada to play casino games.
Oh,
on
like
your app for
blackjack
money.
on an app
yes.
and stuff. Oh, I didn't even know that.
New Jersey. Now you're going to move there. I knew. I shouldn't have said nothing.
I wouldn't trust it.
You know, it's funny.
It would feel weird.
I am not one that trusts. I don't trust. Where are you placing the bet here? Like it's in cyberspace. I'm not. I'm a little
like I have
cynical.
16.
Now these are legitimate.
Yeah.
These are legitimate sites.
Yeah, I know.
am
Like
a little bit. I
and
know,
what's
and they're
crazy
regulated. They're
it's
regulated.
Not like there's any reason for them to cheat. Like blackjack is. All these games are designed. You're gonna lose.
Right.
Long term anyway. So I don't know why I wouldn't trust it.
Now
but
I'll tell you though. Long. I'm trying to think of the words. So if you're playing with an online casino, which they have these things now, like I seen it in Atlantic City, Golden Nugget, we have live dealers. I'm sure the DraftKings, FanDuels of the world have them too.
Sure.
All the big sites must have
Yeah.
them. A live dealer I would play with.
All day.
So the dealers are just as a camera like we have here.
All day.
And they're playing. And
love that.
yeah, I think that's okay.
Yeah,
I think they're playing.
I agree.
Because you're playing, and it might be even something to count cards in. They don't know who's on the other side. And you're sitting in that end seat. It might be happening. I don't know. You know, it goes by your account winner and losing long term if they restrict you. But that brings me up to something.
Yeah.
It brings me up to something about a local bookmaker, like your local guys. Because even though the big sports books around the country are here, this is a taboo subject sometimes. I don't want to talk about. People are still betting with local bookies. So, you know, you go to areas where pool halls, your local bar, your corner candy store, they're still booking sports. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all those states have bookmakers. Anywhere you go, you know, think Chicago, Pittsburgh, Philly, anywhere, middle of America, there's local bookmakers. So, California,
and that's because they like
legal,
to be able to play on credit, essentially,
of course,
right?
California up and down the coast, there's bookmakers everywhere. So, I have four mistakes that bookies make.
Okay.
Talk about
Four mistakes that bookies
local
make.
bookies.
All right.
One, you never want to threaten anybody if they don't pay.
Dumb move.
Bodily harm. Dumb move.
Yeah.
Go right to jail.
Right.
Go right to jail. And you know what's going to happen?
And you could shut you could get your whole operation shut down because they have the ultimate trump card.
What you're supposed to do is work with your customers.
Right.
Work with them.
Right.
In other words, maybe a guy loses $2,000 and he can't pay, and he says, I can't pay right now, and I went over my head, you know, because they have credit lines now. People don't realize that. You go here, you have to post your money. There you have a credit line. Oh my God, I have them. You go crazy at night playing, even whatever it may be. So now they should work with, instead of getting mad at the person, cutting them off, say, you have to pay me, I'm not giving you action back on. Well, they're going to find another bookmaker. They're going to find another one anyway.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you work with them? Give them a deal like, hey, if you win, I'm going to give you half of what you win, keep half off your bill. If you lose, though, you have to pay. By putting you on $500, you have to pay.
Right.
So, next, keep that online casino turned off because people lose the late Monday Night Football game. They're going to play in the online casino, like we just said. The online casinos, I don't trust anyway. This is one in. Are you placing it, wherever? Let's say Jersey. Are you placing the bet in Jersey playing blackjack? Are you in cyberspace or are you in Costa Rica? I don't trust it anyway. So, but they shouldn't do that. You're going to bury your customers. In the end, you're going to cost yourself money. Small ball thinking too. If someone wins, they automatically start thinking, "Oh, this guy's doing something because he wins in sports 2 weeks in a row."
Right.
People are allowed to win.
Sure.
These sports books, these old school bookmakers think.
Matter of fact, you want them to win. It's the easiest way to keep them hooked. You want them to win.
It's so stupid. Like, oh, he must be doing something. Find out what he's doing. He must. No. Granted, okay, great. Someone could have. Giving him good information. It could be whatever, getting a sharp picks from someone or a sharp group, or someone just infiltrates his account. That could happen. But I'm talking about the old school bookmaker that wins money out every year, and in the end, he complains that he got beat for a couple weeks. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
This even happens with some of the brick and mortar sports books that are new to this country, because someone beat them in tennis.
Right.
they say, "Oh my God, we got to." Whoever's in the control of risk on that shift cuts him down and says, "Oh, wait a minute, this guy's doing." And even though he never looks to see, this guy loses $60,000 a year in the NFL, and he beat us for $12,000 on tennis, and we're restricting his entire account. That's not what the CEOs and the directors and the bosses want. But people that are in risk, they just say, "Oh no, we don't want."
You know where they do it a lot on Dana. It's coming up in the month of August.
Right.
Dana White Contender Series.
Oh.
Go try betting up. You can't parlay.
Wow.
You can't do any parlays in any of these casinos.
Only
on
John
Contender
would
Series.
know that.
Yeah, I need my parlays.
Yeah.
I got one for you.
Okay.
You remember Adam Lieberman?
Yeah.
When's the last time you were in the Vegas airport?
2 days ago. No, I'm sorry. About 4 days ago.
Did you notice anything besides slot machines?
No.
Craps and roulette.
Oh, they have a digital craps roulette?
Yes. The one, not digital.
The bouncing balls?
The bouncing ball. Yeah.
Okay, the bouncing dice.
The bouncing dice.
All right.
Is in the airport.
What's the story? Are you playing it?
No. But I mean, did you ever think you'd see the day? Like,
sure, well, they're everywhere.
Yeah, but the airport?
Well, I guess so, sure. The hold on that is actually less than the hold
slots?
on the. Yeah, I'm surprised they put it in there. Because the slot machine's going to hold 10, 12, 15%, especially at the airport. That crap table is 1.5% pass line with odds. You know what I mean? Or 2%.
Right.
As long as you don't bet the sucker bets, the hard ways. The
ones I like.
The ones that you like, yeah.
Not just the hard ways. I like betting on 12. It's good for one roll. 30 to 1 though, Bill. 31 to 1.
36 ways, 36 different combinations of a die. Pays 30 to 1. Some places pay 34-1, which is 29 to 1 now. But
little $100 high low, and you're right back in this thing.
God.
No good.
No,
you don't like it.
Absolutely not.
Ever?
We're going to go to your parlay section here.
All right, go ahead. This one's.
This parlay is interesting. It's only 100.
Wait, will you read the email as they sent it to you?
Oh, we got another doozy this week, and Mr. Orlando. It has Mr. Orlando written all over it. 5-leg future to win $555,100.
That is crazy.
3 legs cashed already.
He's got
this
two
is
more.
over on WagerWire.com, the WagerWire app. 3 legs cashed already. Let's go to the actual legs here.
Can you imagine?
No. So Florida to win the NCAA basketball championship plus 950 winner. Edmonton to win the West plus 320 winner. OKC to win the 2025 title winner. The Dodgers to win the World Series at plus 290.
Probably a winner.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say winner.
No, I think it's Dodgers or Blue Jays.
Wow, the Blue Jays are doing good.
Yeah.
And the last leg, which is going to be the tough leg.
This is a tough one.
Tough leg, because I don't even like the
Last
Lions.
year, at the beginning of the season, I would have said, yes, that has a real good shot.
Yeah.
Now I don't know.
like the Lions to even win their division. I mean, they're favorites, and they should win. But I got plus 475.
But he's still in good shape. I mean, that's still
real good shape. He bet $107. It's worth $11,877
right now.
Of course, he won a 9.5 to 1.
Man,
a 320 and a 210. So, do you take the
realistically? I can't even believe I would say this.
Well, go ahead. You're going to be on the opposite side of it.
Realistically,
take the money.
Yeah.
I say wait till the Dodgers. See how deep the Dodgers get. See if the Dodgers get there.
Now, will this change as throughout the baseball season right now?
Probably. Yeah, sure. If the Dodgers
start,
the Dodgers are up by 3 games, I believe, or something like that.
But
Dodgers are still 11 to 1 to win that division. Which
they
is
don't
sick.
have everyone is worried. Remember at the beginning of the season?
Minus 11 to 1.
Everyone was like, oh, the Dodgers shouldn't be able to do that deal with Ohtani and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They don't even have the best record in baseball. And they're right there at the top with all the other top teams.
Yeah.
Nothing's crazy.
So there's actually a cash out offer from the sportsbook he bet this at.
Okay.
Which is less than half of that 11,870.
Ooh, I wouldn't
Which
do that.
is less than half. So that's the value of WagerWire and the WagerWire.
That's amazing.
app. Yeah, less than half. And now finally, I've been talking about this, haven't really went into it. That's the value of WagerWire. It's worth almost $12,000. Less than half, though, the sportsbook's giving the cash out.
Would you consider buying that ticket right now?
I would.
You would.
I hate to say that I would, but
or going in with
a
couple of guys like four-way split would even make sense.
I would want to see what the Dodgers are right now to win the World Series, and see what Detroit is to win the Super Bowl. It might be a little bit longer than the odds he had.
Yeah.
But I would. Well, listen, the cash out offer there it is, $58.12. I'd buy it in a minute for that. So
you would, right?
So what the sportsbook's giving them, I buy in a minute. The sports book's giving them a terrible price. That's just what happens, though. That's what these books do. But you were thinking of maybe doing it. You're thinking.
The Lions, realistically, I don't think the Lions. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Dodgers are a lock by any way.
Right.
Which is rare for me to say. But the Dodgers are still a tough team, man, because they're where they're at, and they're still banged up. Their pitching staff isn't even who their projected opening day starters were aren't even pitching.
Yeah.
I mean, Ohtani just came out of the game the other day. Did you see that? He threw 6 horrific pitches. He had cramps like in his lower body or something, and at least that's
John,
what they say.
So we talked about the top. How these free pools in Vegas.
Yes.
It went viral. 1.2 million views.
And counting.
We just talked about that on the show. I just came up with that out of nowhere. And JH put some great backgrounds in the background of each pool and showing a little bit. Went viral on...
Crazy.
Was that Instagram and TikTok or just Instagram?
Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Instagram.
I was like,
Facebook,
wow,
TikTok.
Look at this one. It had 300,000.
Yeah, no.
You know?
No, it went viral. So, again, it's interesting that they have because I never knew they had the free pools. So I just can't believe you could just walk right in, maybe with an ID, and get these free pools. I had no idea. We have anything else? You have anything? You have nothing? What are you doing this week? Anything good?
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Wow, how can you be
I got nothing
guy
fun.
like him, like I like John, all this money, all these poker,
all this money.
You play poker every day.
No, I haven't played since World Series.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No. I'd like to play every day.
Yeah.
We should talk about that.
How about a buddy of mine? A buddy of mine down, he sent me this text. He's down in let me see, that had to be Mississippi. He's down in Mississippi, and the machine locks
like Biloxi?
up. Yeah. Might have been Tunica.
Oh.
But the machine locks up, and there's a progressive jackpot that was on the machine, and it locked up, and the casino said, well, we have to close it down, and we just have to, I get our techs over here. We don't know what time. We only have a couple in the casino, and we have no schedule for it. Meanwhile, he's playing a progressive, the guy, and he's like, he's an advantage gambler. He's like, no, you have to. They didn't come over for hours, so now he calls gaming. The gaming agent finally shows up at the casino, like moseying on over with a bucket of fried chicken, eating the fried chicken.
Stop.
And he said, "Oh yeah," he's like, "No, this is out of like Vegas Vacation movie." He's like pointing at the screen with the chicken leg. I mean,
come on.
He's like, I said, "Come on." He's like, "Bill, the gaming agent came over with a bucket of chicken, and he was eating chicken, talking to me." And he's like, "Well, they had to turn this game back on." He waited 7 hours to play it again.
Really?
Yeah. That was worth some money. So it was worth more than 7 hours of his time. So he waited. But I just like some of the gaming agents. I thought that was a
you can't make that up.
Pretty funny thing. I went to lunch with this guy called Cookie Munster on Twitter. He won the 400,000. No, I'm sorry. Did he win 400,000? I think he won. He won the seniors last year, the $5,000 seniors.
Oh.
We're gonna have him on.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Good guy. So he told the doorman at the. He told me a story I had to repeat. He told the doorman at the Horseshoe, "You're gonna be in with me. You're so nice to me all the time." And the doorman was in with him for, I guess it was 1% or 5%. It was 5%. So I think he gave him 12,000. The doorman got 12,000.
Come on.
Yeah.
What a
so
great
this guy
story.
is so nice. He said I gave him
at the Horseshoe.
The Horseshoe. Yeah, I don't know if we'll have him on here. So I thought it was pretty cool.
That is a great. And
you
know that doorman when he said it probably thought this guy's just talking shit. There's no way this guy's giving me any money.
The guy was so nice to him that he gave him that. I thought it was pretty cool.
That is really great.
It was just so cool.
I love stories like that.
All right, well, guys, we'll see you next week on Wisecracks. Appreciate it. I might be away for the day, but we'll see.
Where are you going?
Back Wednesday.
Where are you
I
going?
told you, my buddy Don.
Oh, sorry.
His funeral's Tuesday, so we'll see. I should be back Wednesday at some point.
All right.
All right, guys, see you next week on Wisecracks.
Welcome to the Oak Report. I'm Kelly Stewart with the man himself, Teddy Covers. My first year hosting this show, Teddy. We're going to have a lot of fun. Preseason week 1 starts now. We're going to take you all the way through the Super Bowl. And our goal is to be the first to market show here on WagerTalk TV. These preseason lines started populating a couple days ago. Teddy may have an emergency betting alert or 2 or 3 each week. We'll see what we can get from him. But Teddy, I want to get right into this because we got a lot of games and we got a little bit of time.
That's the way it works on the opening line report. We always want to yap, but the truth is, this is a show about information. My goal is to give you guys great information every week and do it first thing Monday morning. So you can get in, get out, get your bets down, and know that you're coming in with solid info. So every week I'm going to go through everything that happened on Sunday. We'll talk about where my powering numbers are. We'll talk about where the market numbers are, where we expect them to move. And yes, there will be emergency betting alerts, especially in the preseason where already the lines are going absolutely nuts this morning. And we're seeing the markets move significantly on a good handful of games.
Usually on this show, we're going to start off with what did we learn from last week? Well, last week was the Hall of Fame game. Teddy, did you have anything that you took away from that game, or was it just a glorified scrimmage?
Oh, I love that game because my clients and I cashed an overbet. In fact, we cashed a 5% big ticket overbet. And I'm not going to say it was a right side. Things played out perfectly with the turnovers. The turnovers came deep in their own territory, and the Detroit's 5 turnovers ended up resulting in a whole bunch of points for the Chargers. And in fact, the Lions offense underperformed significantly from what I thought they were gonna, which may set something up for this week in the preseason. But when all was said and done, it was essentially a winner by halftime, cash in the third quarter. We like it when the big tickets come in early. And of course, the big tickets, I don't want to pat my own back, or tout my own horn, but I am number 1 all time at WagerTalk with NFL big ticket reports. So cash another one last Thursday, and we'll see if anything steps up this week. The one that I was thinking about for a big ticket, well, the line moved 4 points overnight, so I don't know that we're going to get a big ticket on that one, but we'll talk about it. And as we go down through every game on the board every week, and Kel, I'm the nightmare in terms of corrections. We go every week through the week after the Super Bowl. Yeah, we give you a Super Bowl recap.
That is right. It's okay, Teddy. I'm already looking forward to Super Bowl. You guys have no idea. And the NFL season has just begun. We're going to go through on the Odds Logic screen, guys, by rotation order. So make sure you guys have that set up. oddslogic.com/Kelly in Vegas. If you're looking for a free 1-week trial. The backup options are the WagerTalk free odds screen. If you guys are not ready to pony up to the big leagues. Speaking of ponies, we've got the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts, taking on the former Baltimore, now called Baltimore Ravens, former Baltimore Colts. This interesting line move already, Teddy. Opened a pick'em. Well, it's all -1. Now we're seeing some pick'ems. Then all of a sudden you go over and you go, what is going on? We've got Superbook at 4, FanDuel at 3.5. Total is already ticked up a half a point at some of those books and a full point at the Superbook. Talk to me about Shane Steichen's squad. Kind of curious to see what's going to happen here with Anthony Richardson. Him coming out of the state of Florida. I got to watch him his last year here for the Gators, and I thought we'd see some big things from him here at the Colts. Got hurt right there out of the gate. And now we've got Daniel Jones, the failed, overpaid guy from the New York Giants.
So one thing we definitely want to remember for preseason, we're going to talk a lot about the starting quarterbacks and the backup quarterbacks. They're largely irrelevant in August. We're talking about second stringers, third stringers, fourth stringers, So when there is quarterback competition, there's a handful of teams that there's quarterback competition for the starting job. We'll talk about how it relates, but the markets certainly react to those situations. This is a situation where Baltimore opened, I wrote down the numbers on Friday. All right, before the full market opened, there were a handful of books open, Bet Online, DK, yada, yada. There was 1.5 for Baltimore, total 34.5, 35. And obviously now we're looking with the Colts favored by more than a field goal. Big line move overnight on this ball game. And for good reason. Remember when Harbaugh was the bet on coach in the preseason? There was a stretch over like a 7-year, 8-year span where he was like as good as it gets in August. That was then. This is now. 2003, John Harbaugh, 0-3 ATS. 2004, John Harbaugh, 0-3 ATS in the preseason. So if you're looking at long-term Harbaugh numbers, you're going to see winning, winning, winning. If you're looking at short-term Harbaugh numbers, you're going to see losing, losing, losing. When it comes to the QBs for this game, and again, much of the success, sometimes the coaches that have success in August and then don't have success somewhere else or later on, has to do with the quarterback rotation. And for Baltimore, obviously Lamar Jackson. Don't know how much Cooper Rush is going to play. I think it's going to be a lot of Devin Leary in this ball game. Kid out of NC State. Meanwhile, Indy has legit quarterback competition between Richardson and Daniel Jones. And what they do when it comes to a third string and who's going to be on the field when the point spread could be decided, well, Riley Leonard, Jason Bean could get a fair bit of playing time in the second half. Now, Steichen said that he's going to give one of his two potential starters, Richardson or Jones, more playing time the 1 week, and the other one's going to get more playing time in week 2. But he didn't say which quarterback is which. From a point spread perspective, it doesn't really matter that much. Both guys playing for a starting job, and both guys veterans in that sense. So, but it's worth noting for week 2, wherever we see a lot in week 1, we're not going to see. One little note for Baltimore, and again, I try to find little notes for all the teams, despite, it's not just who the quarterback rotations might be, because a lot of coaches haven't announced it yet, and what the coaches' track records are. Try to find little notes from my perusing of all the local papers this past weekend. And the Ravens, for the first time in a long time, have a new kicker not named Justin Tucker. Tyler Loop was brilliant in practice. He nailed a 56-yarder, he nailed a 60-yarder. He's the only kicker in camp, and there is urgency for Loop to get field goal attempts in the game. So Baltimore is one team that won't be going for it on fourth down when they're in field goal range. We saw a lot of fourth down conversions the other night for the Lions Chargers that were very good for my over. We're not likely to see that here with Baltimore trying to get their new kicker some in-game reps. But the money's poured in on Indy. I don't know we're going to see more Indy money from 3.5/4, but there's certainly no shortage of pros who've loaded up on the Colts in early betting action as the lines open.
Guys, I know not everybody's into betting preseason, but we're here discussing it because there is money to be made. Teddy, really quickly, let everybody kind of know how the last few preseasons have went for you. And also, if you guys are looking for some betting tips on what to be looking for during preseason, some do's and don'ts, if you will, head over to the WagerTalk Instagram channel. Teddy put out his top 3 things you need to know for betting NFL preseason.
Sure, and the preseason has been good. We closed out last year with a 3-0 sweep in week 18, or week 3 of the preseason. We won the first week here, so we're riding a 4-0 run into week 1 of this year. I think it's 18-11 over the last 3 years, or since 2022. 62% rock solid, no complaints. But I'm running good right now, Kel. I mean, I'm 78% all sports here the last 6 days. The baseball's been good. The extra inning games have been in my favor this week. Obviously, the season win report's still available. 103 and 52, 60% lifetime over the last 24 years with that report, including 17-4, 81% of the 5% big tickets. My NFL week 1, 30-11 over the last 10 years, 73%, 8-2 with the 5% big tickets. And obviously the big tickets overall have been pretty good. Number 1 all time at WagerTalk. So all plays 4% or higher, 66% since March. I'm running pretty good in a lot of different areas right now. So not a bad time to get on board. And obviously the preseason has been good for me, both this year so far and in seasons past. And not just good for me, it's good for my clients as well.
That's the most important part. All right, Cincinnati taking on the Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia. I've got my odds logic screen open here. This one open pick'em. You mentioned the money coming in on the Colts, a big money coming in on the Bengals. Superbook currently sitting here at 3.5, but Zach Taylor has been awful in preseason against the spread. Touch on that and tell me what you think about this matchup.
Yeah, sure. And so I had a split favorite here. Offshore, since the open -1 in the global books here in the U.S. I saw Philly -1.5 at DK at the open, total 35, 35.5. And we've seen over money, and we've seen a whole lot of Cincinnati money. So there's certainly some, the reports out of Bengals camp You have the new DC Al Golden from Notre Dame. This is the defense that was pretty awful last year. They had something to prove. They've been showing swagger in camp, and they want to do it in the game. So we're hearing a lot of positive defensive quotes from Cincinnati. But you nailed it when it comes to Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor's coached 16 preseason games. He's won 3 of them in straight up fashion. Not a guy who really cares all that much about the W or the L. That being said, we talked about the video that I put up about how to beat the preseason, how to bet the preseason. And one of my key points in that video that's available on Instagram and all over the place, wherever you guys post it, it's up. But I talked about cluster injuries being your number one issue for bet against teams. When you have a team that has cluster injuries anywhere, they become bet against. Well, Philly's got issue at wide receiver right now. Both starters banged up already. It's not a position where they have a ton of depth. They paid their top guys. So when you have a wide receiving core that may not be very deep and may not be very good this week, you can expect a very vanilla game plan from a team that has nothing to prove in week 1 in August. And we talked about Zach Taylor and his struggles in the preseason. Not like Nick Sirianni's been that much better. Last 4 years for Sirianni, 3 straight up wins in 12 preseason games. Neither coach gives a crap about winning or losing this one. And we talk about bet on teams. One other point that I like to make in the preseason, when you're betting on, if you want, there's lots of bet against stuff. If I'm laying more than 2 or 3 points, especially if I'm laying more than 2, 1 and 2, the key numbers in August, I need some bet on and some bet against. I got bet against for the Eagles. I don't know how much bet on I have for Cincinnati right now. And of course, the Bengals, when it comes to QB rotations, we're not going to see Joe Burrow and company in this one. Jake Browning, Logan Woodside, Peyton Thorne are likely to go in some order for Cincinnati for the majority of the game here.
All right, we're going to keep it rocking and rolling so we can get through all these preseason games. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders currently, -2 at the Westgate Superbook, total 36.5. Teddy, we've seen this line flip in favor of Vegas. Talk to me about your hometown team here and what we should expect from them in this preseason game.
Let's talk emergency betting alert, because this one is number 1 on the list. And we have do we have a volume? We have a noise for it?
I was going to make a fake siren. Woo, woo, woo. Guys,
Next week, I got you, Teddy.
All right.
Next week, I got you.
Anyhow, so the line opened here, Seattle -1.5. There were even -2s out there, total 35.5. This line has flipped towards the Raiders, and now we're seeing the Raiders -1.5/-2. Total's been a bet up, and note that, every game we've talked about so far, we've seen over money come in for what it's worth. And this game, no exception to that rule, 35, now up to 36/36.5. The Raiders already up to 1.5-2. I expect more Raiders money. All right. It's a situation here where you have Pete Carroll, who is clearly interested in winning games in August. All right. Got a great quote from Carroll talking about how winning matters. And of course, both Geno Smith's not going to get a lot of playing time here, but Aiden O'Connell, the backup, has been getting rave reviews in preseason camp. Then again, when Geno and Aiden O'Connell are both getting rave reviews, that does perhaps lead to some concerns about the defense for the Raiders. Of course, they lost Christian Wilkins. Lonnie Johnson got carted off on Saturday. Those are 2 impact losses. If you're looking at some of the preseason betting guides for the Raiders, they're already missing 2 guys. And of course, the quotes out of camp, they're still shuffling on the offensive line, which could be a problem against the Seattle team that could be decent up front. But here's one for the Seahawks that's worth throwing into your, again, one of the ways, it's one to file away for that. I really hope I don't lose my bet this way. You like Seattle. Long snapper concerns for the opener. They might need a temporary long snapper. They might have the fullback or Brady Russell fill in. But Russell, the quote from Russell was, from Mike McDonald was, we can't afford to let him get hurt because he's the only guy we have in that role. So they could be signing a long snapper off the waiver wire, and that could be an issue. Again, week 1 of the preseason, how do these games get decided? Special teams miscue certainly a piece of the equation. Obviously, there's intrigue with Pete Carroll and Geno returning to Lumen Field. Now we're members of the Raiders. The quote from McDonald's, we're not going to be playing our starters, but we're going to compete like heck. I think Pete would appreciate that. I hope Pete gets a great O. He deserves it. So Seattle certainly in a situation where there could be some issues on special teams, but they're not laying down in this game. That being said, the Raiders have the QB rotation. They have the early line move. They have the motivation. Raiders have taken money already. I would not be shocked in the slightest if they take more. If you like the Raiders, I would bet them sooner rather than later. Obviously, already up to -1.5, -2. And the difference, the gulf between 2 and 3 in the preseason is enormous. So many of these games get decided on 2-point conversions or missed 2-point conversions. Nobody plays for overtime. You have ties now in August. So +2/-2 matters. The 3 versus the 2 is worth more than the standard, what is it, but you're talking about 10 cents to buy a line, by a half point, and more than that on and off a 3. In preseason, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. They're all worth more than 10 cents, at least in this bettor's opinion.
All right, shout out to the comments section here on YouTube. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this beautiful Monday morning. You can catch Teddy and I here every single Monday morning up until, February 9th, the Monday after the Super Bowl. Teddy, let's get into those Friday preseason games. I've got my odds logic screen open. Cleveland's taking on Carolina. This one's up to Carolina 3.5 even at the Superbook. This total has been bet up 2 points from the opener of 33.5 to 35.5. Shedeur Sanders is banged up. Kenny Pickett's banged up. Is it Dylan Gabriel time for the Browns?
Yeah, it's funny because Cleveland's Cleveland's got the type of quarterback rotation that everybody loves in August, except when Shedeur Sanders has arm soreness and Kenny Pickett has a hamstring, and Joe Flacco ain't going to be out there for more than a cup of coffee if he plays at all, which means it'll be lots and lots of Dylan Gabriel this week. Now, I don't know that Sanders is out. I'm expecting Pickett's not going to play. The markets aren't expecting Sanders, but even if Sanders does play, it'll be Gabriel and Sanders, 2 rookies, getting their first taste of real NFL action. The markets don't care for that at all. Carolina opened. There were 2.5s in the global markets. There were 1.5s here. 33.5 the total. Over money coming in on this one as well. And I mean, Dave Canales is a coach speak guy. Nothing but positives. That's why the players love him. But in terms of trying to find quotes that I can give from this guy, it's all good, no bad for Carolina. Andy Dalton, Jack Plummer, Ethan Garbers for Carolina. I don't know how much Bryce Young's going to play here. I wouldn't expect him to play any if he does just a little bit. And that's not necessarily a QB trio that I want to be laying a field goal with. So this had emergency betting alert potential. It's already moved to 3/3.5. I don't think it goes any higher than it already is for Carolina, given that QB rotation, even though the betting markets really want to go against Cleveland in this ballgame, given those QB injuries for Kevin Stefanski's squad.
All right, Detroit is taking on Atlanta. Detroit's taking money as well, up to 3.5 there in Vegas. Total 33.5. Not all the way across the board, but pretty much everywhere but a couple of offshores. Teddy, let's talk about that Hall of Fame game, maybe having a few reps under your belt. Does that bode well for that next preseason game?
It sure does, especially when everyone stunk in that preseason game. I'll talk about the quotes in a minute. My numbers have Detroit -1.5 at the open. Total 34/34.5 at the first books they posted. So this is the one game we've actually seen some under money. And when you read what's going on in both of these camps right now, there's a very different sense of urgency for these two teams, hence the Lions money. In preseason, if you're urgent, you're likely to win. All right. The Falcons, Penix had a couple of rough practices. Cousins a veteran. I don't know how much either guy is going to play in this game. I wouldn't expect much from Atlanta starter or from their backup QB, which means Easton Stick, Emory Jones, the other 2 QBs on the roster. Meanwhile, for Detroit, all right, they played on Thursday night. They turned the ball over 5 times. They lost 34-7, and they were not amused. In terms of at least the quarterbacks were not amused. Now, Hendon Hooker played in the second half last week. He's supposed to play in the first half this week. Kyle Allen threw a couple of picks last week. He's supposed to play the second half. That is a bet-on QB duo. The reports out of Detroit camp, and one of the reasons I like the over for the Hall of Fame game was the reports for both these guys, how well they were picking up the offense, how well they were playing in camp. Hooker said he was, quote, very disappointed in himself. He's looking to bounce back. And these two are legitimately battling for the number 2 quarterback spot behind Goff. One of the other things I talked about in that video, I don't remember if I talked about it in that video or not, but one of the other key points for preseason that I want to make, yes, starting quarterback competitions matter, but backup quarterback competitions are better because the backups are going to be on the field for longer portions of games. And when you have Hooker, veteran, Allen, veteran, both guys with something to prove, but veteran QB going against a third and fourth string defense, we love the backup QB competitions, and so do the markets. Obviously, that's why Detroit is taking the money that they've been taking already. I would not be surprised. Again, 3 right now, there are 3.5 popping. I would not be surprised if we see more Detroit money, especially if we get another bad report out of Penix, out of Atlanta practice today, and Penix's capabilities.
All right, Washington taking on New England. New England opened -2, hitting 2.5. The totals ticked up almost a point there in Vegas to 34.5. Teddy, New England going to be interesting with Vrabel this season. Do you think he actually wants to win his preseason game, or is he one of those old school guys that doesn't really care?
So Vrabel's an interesting story in Tennessee because his long-term results were very good as a head coach in Tennessee. That being said, year after year, the Titans had really good quarterback rotations in August. This year, well, they got Drake May and Josh Dobbs. Don't know how much either guy's going to play. I'm expecting the undrafted rookie free agent Ben Woolridge from Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. I'm expecting him to get the majority of the playing time in this ballgame. Not sure how much May or Dobbs we're going to see in this one. Vrabel, long-term winner with Tennessee in August. His first season with the Titans. 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread. And oh, by the way, cluster injuries to report. The Patriots, 4 different offensive linemen got hurt last week. One of them went IR, he's out for the year. The starting center got hurt. A couple of backups, third stringer. They have issues on the offensive line right now. And that, to me, says when you have OL issues, maybe your QBs aren't going to be out there quite as long as you think they might. They will stick the undrafted rookie free agent out there to get beat up and not the regular guys. So Vrabel, first year, long-term good. First year with Tennessee, 0-4. ATS and straight up. Cluster and offensive line. These are bet against scenarios for New England. But the Patriots are taking money. Interesting. Now for Washington, here's the quote. This is something I just cut and pasted out of an article. Washington's defense from a beat writer. Washington's defense continues to give its offense problems in training camp. A key reason, the secondary. Washington's corners are much better in press man coverage than last year's group, allowing the Commanders to play more of that look successfully. So, for what it's worth, Washington, like Atlanta, the offense hasn't necessarily clicked so far in August. That being said, you can make a case that it's the defense that's caused the offense not to click, not just the offense being awful for the Commanders. 2.5, I'll put it this way. Commanders be on my short list for the clients this week.
All right, a game that hasn't moved hardly at all. Opened 36, Buffalo -2.5 over the New York Giants. Teddy, nothing really to note with this Buffalo Bills team, but the Giants have, well, essentially 4 quarterbacks who could be playing in these next 4 preseason games. Break that down. How do you kind of sift through the information and make an informed result?
So this is key, all right? In the preseason, the only stuff I'm betting is when the information says bet it. There's lots of games where there's really not much there, and when there's games that there's not much there, you know what I do? You pass. Unless the line, if the line moves significantly, you look at it again. If you find something, you find no reason that makes sense to you for the line move, maybe you fade it. But the majority of games we're not going to play. This is one of them. I haven't found anything. Not an interesting preseason note about Buffalo at all. For the G-men, it's been very clear in camp that Russell Wilson is the guy, which means Wilson's not likely to play much, if at all, this week. There's going to be lots of Jackson Dart. We may see some Jameis Winston, some Tommy DeVito. And Winston and DeVito bet on. Anytime you have a veteran quarterback in August who's going to get reps throwing the ball downfield, they become bet on. Even a Tommy DeVito is a bet on quarterback against a third string defense in August. So, but all three of those guys have clearly struggled so far in camp. So that's not necessarily a big bet on situation. And of course, the Giants are in chalk here despite their QB competition. Buffalo opened 1.5, 2.5, 33.5 was the total. And as you mentioned, the only thing we've seen on this one, over money from those opening numbers. I want to talk about something else that I neglect. I wrote it right from my very first note, and I neglected it because I got caught up in Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones stuff. There's a key concept that I want to talk about. That's joint practice sessions. A lot of these preseason games, they'll have joint practice sessions, one or two of them before the game. When they go well for a team, the urgency is off in terms of reps and the joint practice. Many coaches consider the joint practice sessions more important than the game itself. So if you have a good joint practice session, if you read those reports and they're like, oh, the so-and-so dominated in joint practice, well, that's not a bet on for the actual game. It becomes a bet against for the actual game because they're a little bit fat and happy, and the other team becomes the urgent. So a lot of these preseason joint practice sessions, I don't like to bet the game until I read about how that practice session went, because that'll give you one more edge when it comes to which team is actually motivated to play better in the game than they did in the practice session. I look to bet on the teams that did poorly in those practice sessions, and you'll read a lot of reports about them this coming week. Because obviously many of these teams, before they play, will have a joint practice session with their opponents, or two, or three, or two, no threes.
All right, we're going to keep going through those Saturday NFL preseason games. Houston, currently a 2.5-point underdog. They're at the Superbook in Las Vegas. Total 36. The Minnesota Vikings here, Teddy, I'm kind of curious to see what this team is made of this year. Are we going to see much of them during the preseason, or do you think O'Connell kind of keeps this team under wraps?
So, opener for this, Minnesota 1.5. I had a 34 and a 35.5 is what I wrote down for openers. And I mean, Minnesota so far, the report's almost universal. Defense is dominating the offense in practice. And there's been lots of positive quotes about the defense, and maybe a really good defense for Minnesota, but obviously with J.J. McCarthy as essentially a rookie quarterback, there are potentially issues. Behind him, Sam Howell, Brett Ripien, Matt Brosmer, who's not a QB I'd be excited about backing with my money in week one. For the Texans, the starting five on offense solidified. DeMeco Ryans, there are all these questions about Houston's offensive line. DeMeco Ryans is like, well, I got the starting five. We want to see how they do in a preseason game together. Their quarterback rotation, not necessarily bet on. Obviously, you've got Stroud, but Stroud, if he comes in, again, any starting QB this week is not going to get more than a cup of coffee, one drive. Davis Mills, Graham Mertz, Keaton Slovis. And Mertz and Slovis are not bet on QBs, in my opinion. Mills is, but I don't know how much time he's going to get. Ryans does have a good track record in August, 5-2 straight up over his first two preseasons on the job.
All right, let's get on to some of these other games here. Pittsburgh is taking on Jacksonville. The Steelers offense is going to be interesting to watch. I'm going to go ahead and assume we're not going to see any Aaron Rodgers, and if we do, it might be for a series. Jacksonville open -1, still pretty much -1 everywhere. Total 35.5.
Yeah, and that's really where it opened. There was a -1.5 at the open. Total 35.5. I mean, this line really hasn't done anything so far, and it might not. Again, when there's no info, people don't bet it. The quotes out of Pittsburgh camp: the Steelers' offense has been, quote, slow to gel. Defense has been dominant. The offense not so much. And obviously, we're not going to see Aaron Rodgers in this ballgame. We're not going to see him at all. So for Pittsburgh, we talk about a QB room without Aaron Rodgers behind center. And of course, Tomlin's not a guy who really cares all that much. 0-3 ATS last year, although the 2 previous years, 3-0 straight up, 3-0 ATS. So there's certainly been randomness with Tomlin. 0-3 straight up in ATS last year, 6-0 straight up in ATS the previous years. And long term, Tomlin had been a pretty good coach in August. Mason Rudolph, Will Howard's been getting good reports out of camp. Skylar Thompson, that is essentially a bet on, in my opinion, QB trio. Rudolph and Thompson, veterans, and Howard, a guy, A, with something to prove, and B, who's been playing well in camp so far. So those are positives for Pittsburgh. For Jacksonville, new coach, new coordinators, new administration. Sometimes you see some, and of course, first year, first time. So sometimes you see some growing pains and some issues. Nick Mullins came in and threw a 90-yard pick six in practice over the weekend. When you have a veteran QB that does that, all right, Nick Mullins throwing a 90-yard pick six, that's a positive for him in the next preseason game. It is. It's a QB who now has something to prove, and not the mistakes are positives, but Mullins is someone who's been around long enough that, and he's fighting for his job versus John Wolford, who's had some pretty good preseasons with the Rams, by the way. Seth Hennigan, the undrafted rookie free agent out of Memphis, was a 4-year starter at Memphis, but Hennigan could get a fair bit of playing time in the second half here. And again, when you talk about the undrafted rookie free agents getting most of the playing time in the second half, those don't tend to be bet on situations. You find the exceptions to those rules, but they don't tend to be bet on. But this line hasn't done anything. It's not doing anything right now. It may not do anything all week, but so far, not a lot of action on Pittsburgh and Jacksonville.
All right, Teddy. Dallas is an interesting line here. Open 2.5 in some shops, 2 at Superbook, 3 at some prominent offshores. Very interesting here. Total 33.5. Here's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. Micah Parsons, does any of this kind of dramatized stuff have a negative effect on the preseason?
No, but it has a negative effect on information. Micah Parsons is sucking all the oxygen out of the room for all the beat writers. All the stories are about Micah Parsons and what the team thinks about Micah Parsons, what Micah Parsons thinks about Micah Parsons, what the coaches think about Micah Parsons, what the beat writer thinks about Micah Parsons. So it sucks the oxygen out of the room in terms of where the information comes from, and that leaves me short on info for Dallas. To be perfectly honest, that's all I'm getting is Micah Parsons reports everywhere I look. And you talked about it. I saw a 2.5 minus 25 at the open. I saw a 3 minus a nickel, 33.5 at the open. And this is one game that hasn't seen over money for what it's worth. So many of these games have. This one hasn't. These are two teams that the Cowboys haven't cared at all about preseason in recent years. They might this year, obviously, new head coach, first year, first time. But they have the joint practice session with the Rams on Tuesday. I would expect the line to move more likely based on what happens in that joint practice session than anything we've seen beforehand. And the Rams, I don't know there's a coach that cares less about winning or losing than Sean McVay. They don't play starters in August. McVay could care less about winning or losing. Last year, they went 3-0 straight up, 3-0 ATS. They faced 3 other teams that didn't care either. They went 0-3 ATS in 2023. And that's the beauty of the preseason is when you're looking at a bet against coach, he's got to be going against a bet on, a team that cares about winning. And if you're going to find a good reason to bet against them, and Dallas doesn't care either. Now, it is worth noting Matthew Stafford hurt. He hasn't played yet. He hasn't practiced yet. McVay's quote about Stafford, he's not going to return to the joint practice against the Cowboys on Tuesday in Oxnard. Quote, it truly is a week-to-week thing. What I don't want to do is set a timeline. I know he's making good progress. And of course, for the Rams and McVay, QB rotation when there is no Matthew Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo, Stetson Bennett. Again, doesn't excite you in September, but in August, that's an okay duo.
All right, Teddy. Tennessee up to a 1.5-point favorite, total 35 here versus Tampa Bay. We're going to have a Cam Warren sighting here on Saturday night.
we might, and again, 1.5 at the open, 34.5. And really, I mean, this is not a line that's doing a whole lot. If you notice, a lot of the bigger moves were coming in the early games. Indy, Baltimore, Cincy, Philly got hit. Seattle, Vegas got hit. Those are the Thursday games. Washington, New England got hit today. Detroit, Atlanta got hit. Those are and then really Carolina, Cleveland got hit. That was up to 3. I would have used an emergency betting line on that, but that one got bet up to 3 right before we got on air. It's worth noting with Cleveland, Carolina, there is a 2.5 still at DraftKings. That won't be there in an hour, I don't think. So if you're interested in laying, that's the place to do it. And that's one of the benefits of having that Odds Logic live odds streams. You can see, hey, this is where I want to bet this right now. As long as you have multiple accounts, which of all the things you need to do as a bettor trying to have success, having multiple accounts is the single most important thing that you can do. It gives you access to free half points every time you try. When it comes to Tennessee and Tampa. So every report out of Tennessee has been, we had our offense is mid from Cam Ward midweek. That was midweek. On Sunday, the practice report from yesterday was Callahan blew the whistle and expressed his frustration to the team before having them run. Their offense isn't working. The quote from J.C. Latham, the tackle. We were 3-14, so any hint, sign, whatever of last year that carries over. Anyone on the team is going to say something about it. He said about the frustration surrounding Sunday's offense performance. But make no mistake about it, Tennessee is a long, long way from being a finished product right now on the offensive side of the football. And when it comes to QB rotations for the Titans, obviously Cam Ward's the guy. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get. Will Levis, Brandon Allen, Tim Boyle behind him. And again, from an August perspective, that's a decent quote. That's a decent trio. For Tampa, these guys have a joint practice with the Titans on Thursday. Not going to see Baker. Baker's been sitting out just like Matthew Stafford's been sitting out. He's expected to return to practice this week. The QB rotation for Tampa with no Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, Michael Pratt, Connor Bazelak, the undrafted rookie free agent. That's not a bet-on trio, in my opinion. Now, Bowles, 2-1 straight up ATS each of the last 3 years. He did go 0-3 straight up on ATS in 2022. I got him as a neutral rating for August, not a bet-on guy, not a bet against guy for Tampa. But Tampa's certainly not a team in this instance. Well, let's put it this way. Tennessee's laying in Tampa for a reason. And that has everything to do with the urgency and with the QB rotation for the Titans.
Okay, the Green Bay Packers opened up as a 2-point favorite. Pretty much 2 still across the board. Totals ticked up 1.5 to 35.5, at least there in Vegas, Teddy. Green Bay banged up here, yet they are still the favorite. Is that because the Jets are just that abysmal?
So the reports in the Jets camp was, hey, the defense looked pretty good. The running game was there. Josh Fields was able to scramble out of the pocket, and the passing game has been completely ineffective, which is just like the Jets last year with Aaron Rodgers. So an ineffective passing game, and those reports, obviously Justin Fields is something to prove. It's a veteran QB, and again, I don't know how much playing time he's going to get. I have not seen a quote on that yet. Those quotes tend to come out today, tomorrow for playing time. But Tyrod Taylor, the backup, and then you're looking at Adrian Martinez and Brady Cook, 2 guys who will be making their NFL debuts. I think Martinez played in the preseason last year. I think he did, but not much action, not much experience for the Jets at the quarterback position. You talked about Green Bay. Green Bay clearly, and again, I saw 2s and 1.5 at the open, 34, 33.5 as the totals. And for Green Bay, there is already injury concerns at a couple of different positions. And really, I mean, the reports I got out of Green Bay is multiple injuries, significant injury list. And in a preseason week 1 game, when you have a significant injury list already, you ain't putting starters in the lineup. So I'm not sure how much bet on Green Bay is for this game. Matt LaFleur in August, you look at his track record, and of course that sort of thing. Malik Willis, Sean Clifford, Taylor Elderson from Canada as a third. LaFleur, 2-1 straight up ATS each of the last 2 years. However, the 2 years before that, 1-5 straight up in ATS. So it's not a consistent track record of success in August for Matt LaFleur and the Packers.
All right, Kansas City taking on Arizona. Both teams with some wide receiver injuries there, Teddy. Chiefs -1.5, 36.5 currently. That total has been bet up, opener 35. Kind of curious here, because if you're looking at a couple of different shops on the odds logic screen, Superbook is the highest at 36.5. Are they getting ahead of the market here, or do you think they're just generally taking over money?
I'm confident that they took over money. I mean, in the preseason, books aren't going to have opinions on the lines. They're going to respond to action, and they're going to move quickly when they see action. I'm surprised at this over money. Let's put it this way. I wouldn't bet it. KC was -1.5 the open, 35.5 the open. And you talked about the injuries. Both these teams have injuries, significant injuries to their receiving core already. Kansas City, both starters. The whole starting core is hurt. And when you talk about a team like KC that's a little bit top heavy in terms of salary, the receiver depth isn't there. So when you have a bunch of guys hurt at the top, that puts the second stringers, the first stringers, and those guys can't get hurt. It's going to be a lot of guys you never heard of and aren't going to make the roster in the second half of this ballgame on the field for Kansas City. And a similar story for the Cardinals. They have a limited wide receiver depth. Harrison's hurt already. I would not be surprised if both these teams hand the ball off a whole lot in the preseason opener on Saturday. And preseason totals can be a little bit random, but this is a game I would expect under before I expect it over. I'm surprised the total is as high as it is and that it's holding as high as it is. We haven't seen anything going when it comes to under money come in for any of these ball games. It's been over money or nothing for the vast majority, and this is no exception to that rule.
All right, over 2,000 people watching us live right now, Teddy, here on a beautiful Monday morning. The NFL season is back. We've got 3 more games to get through today. We've got the Denver Broncos. Wow, taking some money. This missed the emergency betting alert here. San Francisco opened 1. Superbook now up to 3. Let's take a look at FanDuel. They're 3 as well as DraftKings. This one was 34, now 34.5. Almost across the board. Oddslogic.com/Kelly in Vegas. If you guys want to hop on there for a 7-day free trial. Teddy, let's talk about these two teams. I don't have a lot worth noting here for the preseason, but we know you do.
And I would not be surprised if Denver takes more money. All right. If you want to, we're not going to see buyback on San Fran. So we can emergency betting alert this one as well. We've missed the best of it. This had potential to be a 5-star for me last night, a big ticket. I looked at it, I'm like, let's see what it looks like tomorrow morning, and then the line moved 4 points overnight. Oh, well, it's not going to be, we may still release it, but we're certainly not going to be, and I doubt we will, but we may still release it if the information continues to come in the direction. The information's all Denver so far for this one. But after a 4-point line move, there's no way it's a 5%. But nonetheless, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes higher. I really wouldn't. The Broncos defense has, and of course this line opened, San Fran won. Here in the States, it was San Fran, off in global books, it was San Fran as a favorite. Here in the States, it was Denver as the favorite. Total open 34.5. Total hasn't moved, but the money's poured in on the Broncos. San Fran, there's really cluster injuries everywhere. Injuries everywhere. All right, the wide receiver has injured, lots of injuries, but the 49ers just suffered through an injury-riddled disaster of a season. Nobody who's banged up is going to play. It's going to be a lot of guys you haven't heard of and a lot of guys that may not make the roster. For Denver, all the reports out of camp is how this defense is dominating. That being said, they have some issues in terms of the linebacking core. Drew Sanders got hurt. Alex Singleton got hurt. Drake Greenlaw just limped off. So Denver's defense has been elite in camp, but that may also be speaking to the offense. That being said, we're not going to see Niners money. The Niners don't care, and they're banged up. So, yes, this line's already moved. It could move more. Denver's the only way I can bet it. And obviously the markets have, I should have bet this. I should have given it to the clients last night. And I didn't. And when you lose 4 points about line value, in August, sometimes you still have to make plays after losing some line value. You have to, or else you won't find anything because the markets move really quickly. But after 4 points, it was just there's no step up play after you lose 4 points of value. Not a chance. I can do that if it's a play for the clients. It'll be a 2% or a 3%, a lower end selection. And at 3, I probably won't get there. I might still, but I probably won't.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that one. The Dolphins are headed to Chicago to take on the Bears. Bears 2.5-point favorite. Seen some over money here from the opener of 35.5 up to 37. I'm seeing it's interesting because the graphic says Miami open 2.5. I'm here on the odds logic screen. Teddy says Chicago open 2.5. Kind of tell me some thoughts on this one. I don't know what to make of this Bears team, and I'm going to go ahead and assume we're not going to see Tua for the Dolphins. Give me some insight on this matchup.
So I saw Miami. I wrote down Miami 2.5 as my opener as well. So there was a big line move on this one early toward Chicago, or when the markets matured. Other books put Chicago as a favorite, and the markets have accepted that. And for Miami, Tua's looking amazing. All the reports out of camp are Tua, wow, Tua, blow you away. Tua hitting the ball into tight windows. But he's not going to play in this game, Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers, the 6th rounder out of Texas, Brett Gabbert. That's not necessarily a bet on QB trio, especially because Wilson's not going to get much playing time. That being said, the Bears have the type of quarterback rotation that people like. Caleb Williams, obviously something to prove. Behind him, Tyson Bagent and Case Keenum, 2 veterans. All right. That being said, see how much time those guys get. It could be a lot of Austin Reed in this ballgame for Chicago. I haven't seen the quote yet, but we're going to pay attention to what we hear about Austin Reed. He was 12 of 16 for 123 yards and 1 touchdown last August. So lots of reports from Chicago about how the offense is struggling in camp. All right. Quote, the Bears are 75% of the way through installing Ben Johnson's new offense. 12 total installs where the team aims to finish by the end of next week. There's been progress for Caleb Williams. Quote, we've seen very positive results from the pre-snap stuff. It's from the option coordinator, Declan Doyle. He's continuing to progress post-snap. And then on Sunday, that was on Saturday's report, on Sunday, they had multiple delay of game penalties and all kinds of pre-snap miscues. So the offense isn't installed yet. The quarterbacks are struggling with the new offense. They're having issues pre-snap, and they're having issues post-snap. This could be a cluster. It really could be for Chicago. That being said, there's urgency for the Bears that there isn't for the Dolphins in this one, and that's certainly reflected, perhaps, in the big line move toward Chicago from the open.
All right, I want to just shout out everybody in the comments section. We love you guys for hanging out with us here on a beautiful Monday morning. Even over on X, people are saying this is what they needed to get their week going. LFG, you guys know what that means. All right, Teddy, last game for Sunday, August 10th, which is crazy. It's almost a week away. 4:05 p.m. Eastern here. New Orleans, 2-point favorite, but Superbook went down to 1.5 there since we started recording. 40. This Monday morning, guys, we're going to have lots of coffee this season. 36 is the total here, even though this one opened up at 34.5. Let's talk about this QB battle that's going to be going on in New Orleans this year. This team is not favored in any games all season long, but I have a feeling the preseason could be interesting here.
So we should emergency betting alert this game. New Orleans is going to take the money. All right, they already started to take the money. Doodle you, Saints are likely, because of the QB battle in New Orleans, and because the Chargers played last week and everything went so swimmingly for them, the urgency isn't there. I expect the Saints to take money. I would not be surprised if they, again, there's 1.5s out there now. I don't think that'll be that case all that much longer for New Orleans. So this is an emergency betting alert territory. And New Orleans was 2.5 at the open, 34.5. So another game where we've seen over money. Before I break this game down any further, though, I do want to say, guys, we really appreciate all of you watching live, all of you watching on replay. Obviously, the show gets a ton of views on replay. I only ask for one thing. If you like the show, hit that like button. Thank you. Done. Problem solved. It makes all the difference in the YouTube algorithms. We appreciate all the comments. And every week, both Kelly and I will get into the comment section. And I reply to basically everyone that says anything. So I appreciate the comments below. That's, of course, on the YouTube when it gets replayed on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel, we just passed 210,000 subscribers you haven't done so, you get them alerts every time shows like this go live, which we will do 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern every Monday morning now throughout the football season until the Monday after the Super Bowl, when you can be hungover and watch us one last time before spring and summer begin. So the likes, the follows, the comments make all the difference. Thank you. And of course, visit my page, wt.buzz/TC. If you want to get on board for a preseason package, for a full season package, we've got a great deal now. Buy 2 months, get the third one free. I always encourage people, don't buy a play. Don't ever buy a play. Get a package and let me show you what I can do for you over the long term. If you don't like me, there's lots of other cappers, successful cappers at WagerTalk.com that you can get involved with. When we talk about the Saints and the Chargers and the QB rotations for this one, well, let's see. This is a legitimate quarterback battle for New Orleans. Tyler Shuck versus Spencer Rattler versus Jake Haener. One of them's going to be the number 1, one's going to be the number 2, one's going to be the number 3. And there's no particular pecking order right now. So all 3 QBs have got to show what they can do in August. Obviously, have a new coaching staff in New Orleans. So there's a fair bit of urgency for them. And there's no urgency for the Chargers. Harbaugh doesn't care. And they're coming off a blowout win in a game they didn't even want to play. So, like I said, I do expect money to come for the Saints. There's been a little money. I would not be surprised if we see more. I'd be surprised if we don't see more. And that's why we're emergency betting alert New Orleans right now. If you want to get the Saints, bet them sooner rather than later, in this bettor's opinion.
And you're going to get all of Teddy's opinions this season. I'm going to try to chime in every once in a while, but we are on a time crunch because right after us is Wager Talk Today. I'm going to be joining in today, talk about some of the Vegas contests. Teddy, are you getting involved in any of those contests? I know you've done well in seasons past.
So I don't do any contests anymore. Not a one. And I'll tell you why. So I did a contest, I think it was 2 or 3 years. So I found that trying to pick 5 games was messing up my head. And you're thinking about the contest and thinking about what I can do for the clients. And really, it's not about picking 5 games a week. It's about finding a handful of good bets. Most weeks, I don't have 5 bets for the clients.
Same.
So, and the other thing that I found that I got a lot on my plate come football season. And that time I entered a contest, we missed a week. I missed entering plays. And that's just like throwing money away. I was angry with myself, and I said I'm not doing this again until I retire. So someday when I retire, I'll do contests again. Not in the modern era. I got too much shit going on, and contests aren't my priority. Is not winning a stupid contest or a valuable contest or a great contest. That's night's talking points. My priority is picking winners for the clients. That's what I got to do.
Love it, love it, love it. Teddy, I will see you bright and early next Monday morning for preseason week 2. Good luck to you. Good luck to me because I'm going to be tailing you. And good luck to all of you guys there at home. We'll catch you guys out here soon. Teddy's got his QR code on his cup. If you guys want to put your phone right up to it, take you right there to Teddy's homepage.
You are live.
Best sports betting show on the planet. This is Wager Talk Today. I am your host, Andy Lang. It is Monday, kicking off a new week by looking ahead to one of the most important parts of the season, college and pro football contests. That's right. We're going to bring on Kelly in Vegas. She's going to tell us about what contests are out there, any strategies that we might have. I know Dan and I are going to be doing Survivor on this very show. So if you're planning to compete in any of those, this is a great show for you. Now's the time to get the strategy in place. We're going to talk some MLB. We got some free plays. Gianni's going to join us first to get the Steam report. Crackman's going to join us, give us an MLB prop. Then Kelly's going to come on. We'll talk those contests. And Adam Trigger's going to join us to talk the Yankees and the Rangers. The Yankees kind of stumbling at the moment now. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Let's bring Gianni on. You guys know what to do. Hit that like button, and let's get started. Gianni, good morning. How was your weekend?
My man, good weekend. Good weekend.
Awesome.
Turned the profit last 7 days. I think I'm top 3 in profit, number 1 in MLB last 7 days, and 1 in MMA. So it was a good week. After 2 losing weeks, we turned in a nice winning week, and excited about preseason coming up. There's always tons of opportunities there, and of course, still got baseball and waiting NFL and college football, man. So it's a beautiful time, best time for sports bettors.
Nice. I was 10-6 last week as well, so let's keep the positivity going. You said it wasn't real busy morning on the Steam report, but I actually do want to talk a little preseason because looking at these lines, we've got some pretty aggressive line moves here in NFL preseason. What are we seeing here with the market?
Yeah, and you got to get out ahead. I talked about that before, that with preseason, these lines are going to move significantly. So if you miss a number, you're better off waiting and being patiently and finding those good positions. Personally, I released a premium play on Thursday. I released a premium play already for Friday. Both of those lines move significantly. I could give you one right now. I'll give it to you for free. We bet game 105 Cincinnati -1. They're up to -3.5 right now. So it shows you just how much value you're able to get in the preseason, but it also shows you got to be pretty quick. If you get that information, you got to be ready to fire. So here's some of those moves for Thursday's NFL. Indianapolis +1 all the way to -2.5. Also over 34 in that Indianapolis game. Cincinnati, I touched on Cincinnati. We bet the Cincinnati side as well. Good to -2. And then finally, Las Vegas from +1.5 through -1.5 and the over 35 against Seattle. On Friday, we have Carolina -2 and the over 34 against Cleveland. Detroit -1, 1.5, and 2. Also, a little money line was sprinkled there. And New England -2. Now, you'll notice a lot of those short favorites that they laid, they are now through that key number of 3. All the value has been extracted. That's the bottom line. Like if you're now laying those favorites, you're hoping to be the product of good luck. And more importantly, hoping that the odds makers were that off to begin with, where that they had to factor in so much public bias that the line was 3 or 4 points off. Because right now that's what you'd be saying, because the odds makers put out there Cincinnati -1. We now have Cincinnati -3.5. So you have to conclude that they were about 3 points off, because 3 is such a key number. You got to conclude that the odds makers were 3 points off at the opener, that they missed a lot of stuff, and that now they're still off. That meaning that they're not just 3 points off, they're more like 5 or 6 points off. Because if you're going to lay the 3.5 now, you have to think that the line should be what, 6, close to 5, maybe?
Yeah.
So that's the problem of waiting to bet some of these preseason games. The lines do move significantly, but there's a ton of value as that line move shows you. If you got a -1 in your pocket in NFL and it goes off -3 or better, you can't do better than that. Like that, as a sports bettor in the NFL, you can't do better. But again, that information comes quickly. You got to fire quickly.
Yeah, Jim asked about the Ravens in preseason. I will just tell you, I live here in Indianapolis. I mean, we have a legit quarterback issue, and it's not good for the regular season, but it could be sneaky great for the preseason. I mean, we got guys competing for the job. The backup, Daniel Jones, if he gets any type of extended playing time, he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks that you're going to see in preseason. So, just speaking from, somebody that follows the team locally, Yeah, they got a lot to. The Colts team has a lot to figure out, and I'm guessing, Gianni, that's kind of what you're looking for in these teams. Quarterback battles where you're going to get aggressive quarterback play, things like that, and that's probably what the line move is coming from. So, what are we seeing in MLB? Anything of note today?
All right, a little slow. Again, it's early, and it's first game of the series, so we should see a lot of those series bets I talk about all the time, but those tend to come in about 30 minutes, sometimes even 5 minutes before first pitch, and a little more baseball will trickle in throughout the day. But here's what we've gotten so far. 903 Milwaukee, minus 130, good to minus 135. 906 under 8 and even under 7.5. So after going under 8 up to minus 130 on Cincinnati and the Cubs, came back and went under 7.5. So you'll probably see some 7s at the sharper books. 908 Arizona, plus 120. 918 under 8.5, up to minus 105. Tampa Bay, LA Angels. And finally, 920 Miami at minus 105 through minus 115. And real quickly, in the WNBA, New York Liberty minus 8.5. So there's a little bit of baseball, a little bit of WNBA, but it's only 9 a.m. Pacific here on the West Coast, so still early.
Yeah. Any of the lines kind of jump out at you? I guess the Miami-Houston one is a little interesting. I don't know, kind of playing with fire with Verlander, who's been really good in the last couple starts. I mean, listen, long-term, he hasn't been good. Last couple, he's been pretty decent. Any thoughts on those?
Yeah, you know what's the one that stuck out that if I have to look at right now is Cleveland. Cleveland against the Mets. Rarely do you see dog money and when it's that big of a favorite outweighing the favorite money. And right now, that's what I want to see. In the back end, what's sticking out? And for whatever reason, Cleveland at plus money and Cleveland plus 1.5 is getting bet over the Mets. Not sure why in that game. Yeah, that's probably the one that sticks out to me the most. Because again, anytime I see the recreational bettors on a dog like that, and not just taking the 1.5, but taking the money line, that always sticks out at me. Again, Cleveland, 500 team. Mets playing decent ball as well. Nothing really stuck out at me, but again, I'm surprised why they like Cleveland. But the Mets have played, when you look at it, Mets have got 1 win in their last 6 or 7 games against a red-hot Cleveland team that's won 4 of 5. So I see why the public's on them, but yeah, I'll stay away from that when I see that.
Yeah. Yes, Paul, Liberty is Tuesday, but again, try to get the best of the number here on Monday. So sadly, the props don't come out for WNBA till the day of, but you got to check lineups. What are you going to do? I was 2-0 in props in I love the WNBA props, Gianni. They're the best. The books don't really adjust them. They don't pay attention a whole lot to them. So, Justin, anything sticking out in college futures or week 1 spreads? Did we notice anything?
Yeah, I know I gave out 2 week 1 college football moves already, 4% and a 3%. Other than that, it's been season win totals. Did we have any season win total that I could share? Anything going on?
I haven't done anything with season wins in college. I've been an all-around pass on that one.
No, next Monday we're doing bet on. I'm doing UFC on the line, the gambler's perspective, bet on. I got to remember all these names. So doing bet on it next Monday with Marco and Kelly. We're going to do NFL, AFC and NFC previews and college football previews, where we're going to give out season win totals. We're going to give out who we think is going to win each division. We're going to give out our undervalued team, our overvalued team, teams to make the playoffs. So there'll be a lot of good information coming out next Monday. We'll be taping those. They'll probably be out throughout next week. So you'll be having a lot of good info, get you ready for NFL and college football seasons for sure. And a lot of futures me, Marco, and Kelly will be releasing on that show.
Love it. Since it's Monday, we always take a look at the opening lines for UFC. Not a great event. Nothing really jumped out. I do like Gabriel Fernandez, but line's already moved up. It's like minus 440. I would be terrified about laying minus 310 on Jocelyn Edwards, but that line hasn't moved. Nothing really of note. You got a couple of really bad fighters on this card, but I haven't seen any real aggressive line moves on this card as of Monday morning.
Yeah, me neither. Just coming off a UFC card that actually there wasn't a lot of excitement going in, but it ended up providing a lot of great fights and good betting value. I actually turned a profit and going in, I was like, this card's awful. This card sucks. And there's, like I said, some really good fight of the year candidates, in fact.
Yes.
And again, anytime you're profitable, it was a good card. But I don't see a lot either. I'm looking at the main event with Hernandez. He's just on fire right now, Puffy. And you got Dolidze, who's coming in off 3 straight wins. He just had a really good decision went 5 rounds with a tough Vittori. I'm interested to see there. I'm hoping the public could jump on the dog there and drive that line down, and I could get a good price on Hernandez because I just think he's just so much more well-rounded than Dolidze, and Hernandez implements that ground game as well. I think Dolidze could be in a lot of trouble. If you don't land that big shot early in that first round, I think Hernandez just runs away with it. So I'm looking at that fight, but again, hoping to see that the line drops. And in fact, I'm taping UFC on the line this Thursday.
Nice.
So I won't be on here because we're taping 2 shows for this Saturday's UFC and the pay-per-view with Chimaev and Duplessis. So
Nice.
Looking ahead to that card, that's exciting as well. So we got some good UFC coming up, and next Tuesday is Contender Series as well.
Oh, you better believe I am so ready for Contender Series. I already have a 5% play up for this week's UFC card.
Man.
Oh yeah. This card screams profit. We hit 1 PFL play, we hit 1 UFC play, so we're rocking and rolling. And I got a 5% best bet that is up. So when you're seeing
My
the
man
card,
asked about the Red Sox. I like the over. If I could get 9, I'd bet it right now, but I think it's 9.5 everywhere. I'd lay up to even 130 to go over 9 if you could find it. Gun the head, that's the best bet for me in that game. KC Boston. Oh, there is 9 minus 25 at Circa. There you go. Over 9.
Beautiful. Don't you love when a plan comes together live?
Yep.
So, all right, Gianni, what do you have up for clients up at Wager Talk on this Monday?
All right. I've got some packages up there. Like the NFL and college football season package is up together, meaning the futures pass, where I have season win totals. Yes, no, will team make the playoffs? And even an MVP long shot in there at 50-1. That package is up. More plays will be added to it between now and week 1. I have Thursday's preseason package up with a 4% play. Friday's preseason package up with a 4% play as well. I have week 1 college football already 2 bets in there. We're not waiting, baby. I'm getting my guys on good numbers early because these lines are going to be up so long by the time they kick off. All the value will be extracted by then. So hopefully we play some good bets over these next couple of weeks, lock in some good numbers. Head on over to WagerTalk.com. I'll try to throw out a free premium for you guys today as well.
Love it. Gianni the Greek, always getting the week started off right. Thank you so much, Gianni. Best of luck today.
Thank you.
We'll keep moving. Hey, we got no time to waste. Let's bring on Crackman. We're going to keep this show rolling right along. Bill, happy NFL preseason, sir. How are you so far?
Aggravated, to be honest with you, Andy. I'm aggravated. Here we are Monday morning after 9 a.m., and the preseason lines are not up at Circa. They're not up at Pinnacle. They're not up at Paperhead. They're not up at PPH. They're not up at just a plethora of sports books. But yet there's other sports books that have them up and have had them up for 4 days. So it's kind of frustrating to me, to be honest with you. Let me just check on my screen there. I just want to look 1 second. I'll come right back. Just want to make sure what I'm saying is correct here. Yeah. So Chris is up. BetMGM. Westgate Superbook, Caesars, Buckeye is now up. So sorry, I just wanted to check that real quick on the live odds screen.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, so it's frustrating because it's hard to release something. I'm one that tries to be real fair, and I want clients to be able to get the games in. This is not for me, by the way. I want the clients to be able to get the games in. So I'm not going to release something that they can only get at Caesars or MGM or one of the sports books. I want to make sure they can get them at all the games. Now listen, DK and FanDuel also do have them up. So I guess I could now that Westgate finally put them up in Vegas. But like I said, some of the major sports books and the PPH is not putting them up. So trying to be real fair to clients, I kind of worry about that. I want to make sure they can get the plays in. But it's very frustrating. It's cat and mouse, and it's because of the last couple seasons of guys like myself, and there's a couple other syndicate groups that have destroyed preseason football. It's the reason that they have severely restricted many accounts and stuff. I understand these things move terribly. So, but I'm not going to release something without having I think Circa's just actually right now as we speak, 9:15 a.m. Vegas time. Circa just put up the first 2 or 3, so I can see them popping up now. So that's good to see. So we're going to have some plays here shortly. So you guys want to get on and hop aboard because we're going to have some plays here released here today for sure.
Well, let's do a free play in MLB here. Mike R says in the comment, coming off a free win last show. Let's do it. Crack, who do you got for today's MLB prop?
Quinn Priester, Major League Baseball here, going to the Milwaukee Brewers. Total strikeouts over 4.5. I'm seeing plus money, plus $1.10. I've been pretty successful on this show with these pitcher props. Someone will have to check them out, but I think we're actually like 7-1 on these props. Going with another younger prospect again this week. Priester has been pitching great, winning 10 games in a row. He's got a great slider, faces a Braves team today that has been pretty bad lately, to be blunt. Top 10 in strikeout rate since the All-Star break. And, maybe how hard it is to get, it's hard to get down a little bit. Someone texts me about their pitcher props. And I want to just tell you, you know what it is. You're betting the same at the same sports book. You have to have multiple outs. So someone actually DM'd me, a customer, and said, wow, I won like 4 in a row and they cut me down to $50 from $200. So you have to, take the betting and maybe spread it around a little bit. It's a shame, right? You're not allowed to win. It's amazing how many sports books, Andy, that throw out losing lifetime players, losing long season players. I knew someone that was thrown out for betting props that lost on his own 10 times more than he won on the props with that sports book during NFL. I mean, but you have guys in risk that they're so mad, they're so upset that they don't have the balls to go out and try to bet on your own, and they want to bet so bad on their own. So they just limited everyone else because they're mad, even though they're directors, the bosses. By the way, some of these are public companies. The investors up top, the board of directors, they don't want you throwing out winning players. But these sportsbook guys in risk, not all of them. I'm not talking about a blanket statement. A lot of them, though, they get so mad they throw out the winning players that are winning in props, but they lose money at the end of the year. That's what this guy was sending me, and I was like, wow, he actually sent me screenshots of his NFL. The guy lost $43,000 last year. He won back $8,000 betting props, $8,000, and they threw him out. I mean, even though he still loses every year. So it's upsetting. I try to stick up for the people and, just talk about some other things rather than, analytics and stuff like that. I try to talk about real problems, everyday problems of sports bettors face. Just trying to lay 11 to 10, 12 to 10, post our money, hope the dog doesn't eat our ticket, hope we don't get struck by lightning or killed. And these sports books just constantly give us problems. Oh my God, it's so difficult to every day to be able to bet sports for a living, and even the clients. It's good they have multiple outs. That's very important.
Well, Bill, the lesson for your friend is just stick to props.
Yeah.
What are you doing with messing with the other things?
Well,
you and I talk about this all the time. Just like if you're doing good, it's what are you doing?
He can't. He loves NFL. It was live wagering where he lost his money on live wagering NFL. Lost all his money, but however, he's not going to be able to do it this year with that sports book in a month because they threw him out for winning back 20% of what he lost throughout the year. I mean, this is real geniuses behind the sports books. I wouldn't give these guys a mop job. I wouldn't give them if they got fired.
I'm glad you said mop before job.
Yeah.
Could have spiraled out of control here. So any particular preseason games that you are looking at, or has the lines kind of gotten out?
A couple of the lines have moved. I had a friend of mine that was actually showing me some of the limit restrictions too. But this morning. But however, now that Circa's coming up, the other ones are going to come up. So we'll have some stuff. I'll answer the question before you ask it. So I have NFL futures packages up. I have these preseason packages up. Also the college football feature packages up. These have been ridiculously successful in my betting career. So, you want to get down on them. You want to sign up for them now. I'll just tell you, we're going to have some really good advantages. I plan on starting them today.
Okay.
So we're going to have some really good stuff up. I'm also doing the NFL. I talked last night for almost an hour with one of my guys at like 10 o'clock last night about NFL. I've been real tough on people that try to force NFL sides rather than totals or props. But I've had a guy that has worked for us, and he sent me his NFL card 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year. He's won every year, so we're gonna go out with his game. But again, you have to be on board. You have to be ready to go Sunday night, Monday morning, Tuesday. This is 5, 6, 7 days before the games kick off. So we're going to have that stuff. Just make sure you have your notifications on, your email notifications. It's very important with my plays. There'll be obtainable lines when we send them, but I'm not going to be so sure if they're going to be obtainable 10 minutes after. So make sure you have your notifications on. You're going to get the best of it. You're never going to ever be part of anything like this ever again. I'll say, just like Gianni's stuff, this stuff moves. So you have to be on top of your notifications, on top of your stuff. You're going to have the best of it. And when your bookmaker starts crying and complaining that the line's moving and you're getting the best of it, 5 days later, it sits in the account for all these days, you just tell him you're following a service from Vegas. I mean, he shouldn't cut you off. So anyway, there you go.
Love it. You already mentioned what you have up for clients there at WagerTalk. Any good restaurants you've been to recently? Any good meals of note?
There's a sushi place across from South Point that's someone took me to last night, and he's like, "Yeah, you want to go to one of these places?" And I don't go. I like sushi, but I like quality sushi. But I don't want to get busted out at Nobu for ridiculous plate of fish, $60 just for some raw fish. But I went across the street to South Point at an all-you-can-eat place. I was like, "Oh boy, I don't know about the quality here. It's so packed. There's so much volume." And the fish was fantastic. So you could see, nice. I don't even know the name. I think it's called Best Sushi. It's right across from South Point, right on the strip there. That place for $35. I'll just be blunt. They lost money on me. They don't want me in there. Yeah, they got no chance with me.
Yeah, all you can eat sushi is a gigantic roll of the dice. I mean, that is that's a bigger roll of the dice than most craps tables. But
when people come to Vegas, you don't want to get busted out. I went at Caesars. Literally, steak and eggs is like $69. They're out of their minds. So there's some places here in town though that my local joints for breakfast. I would recommend just going to a locals place. Don't go to these bust out joints in the casinos. Some great places, Lou's Diner on Decatur, Mary's Hash House, not Hash House on Go-Go, not that slop. Mary's Hash House. She is fantastic. Homemade stuff you're making from scratch. I go there. I also go to Blueberry Hill. Fantastic places. These are all great places to go to. Local joints, mom and pop, they're the places I choose to go to rather than spend twice as much or 3 times as much in the casino. So there's a couple spots for our clientels here, for our listeners and viewers. And there you go. There you have it, Andy.
Love it. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Always a good time. Can't wait to talk next week. I'm sure you're crushing preseason. Let's just bring on Kelly. Let's start talking about some college football and pro contest. Kelly, what is this you can play? By the way, Justin did have a good roll of the rice. It's a good joke, Justin. It's quality joke.
Listen, if you don't know this sushi is the best kept secret about Vegas, because you go to a sushi restaurant in Kansas, you go to a sushi restaurant in Texas or somewhere else that's not a major area, you're not going to get the quality that you get in Las Vegas. Number one reason, because the casinos are already flying in that fresh fish to the desert daily. So then everybody else just places their orders as well. So you could get right there off Spring Mountain Road, all you can eat, $24.99 for dinner. I mean, it's It is amazing. I can't tell you how many times I've had to be like wheelchaired out of there because I'm just like somebody help. I've been overserved, but there is one place. I think it's off Durango. Can't remember. It's been a long time since I've been there, but it was all you could eat sashimi for $44.99.
yeah.
That then you can't.
Yes.
You just can keep eating because there's no rice to make you full.
Oh, I'm in. I may fly there. Give me some frequent flyer miles. May cash in some miles and meet you there. All right, Kelly, let's talk contest here. It's contest season here. So we have there's a lot of different ones. Give us some of the ones that you're going to be involved with, that you're going to play, and then we'll start talking a little bit of strategies about it. So what are some of the contests here that we have?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just go right down. We'll start in Vegas. We're going to start with Circa Sports. As you guys know, they have the Circa Millions. Right now, they have a $4.8 million overlay. Less than 1,200 people have signed up. That is their Pick 5 contest. If you guys remember, Carmine Bianco here from WagerTalk.com cashed in that contest last year during the quarterly. A couple of years ago, Las Vegas Chris here, WagerTalk.com cashed in that one as well. So if you guys are looking for big time overlays, you guys want to go to Circa. They also have a Circa Survivor. Everybody knows that's the most famous Survivor contest in America. Just got to pick the winner every single week, right? Just shy of 3,700 entries. They are guaranteeing a lot of money right now, almost just a little over $11 million overlay. That one is a must enter, just with the possible overlay. You've got to get in. And then, of course, they have the Grandissimo, which only has 11 entries, currently a $400,000 overlay. So if you've got big coin, that is going to be their big, huge ticket, $100,000 entry. I think Dana White got in that one, if I remember correctly. Then you can go over while you're in town. Just go right over to the Westgate Superbook there.
Yes.
You can probably go on their website and still see a picture of me holding a check from a long time ago. I cashed in what at the time was their mini contest for $15,000. That's the last 3 weeks of the season. These guys do a lot of quarterly prizes, 3, 6, 9 weeks, 12 weeks, 6-week contest, 9-week contest. So there's a lot of contests within the contest, Andy, and we can get into some of those strategies as well, because picking 5 games against the spread for an entire 18 weeks is absolutely grueling. I just got done doing opening line report with Teddy Covers. I said, Teddy, you can enter in these contests? He said, no. It takes away from what he's doing for his clients. He's taking away from some of the other things. He said, you know what? 5 games is so grueling that he just won't do it. So I will be entering the super contest as well. That one's $1,500. You guys have until Saturday, September 6th to sign up for all of these contests. But one of the things that I'm really most excited about is the Westgate contest, Super Contest Survivor, $5,000 entry, right? So I just mentioned the $1,000 one there over at Circa. $5,000. Now, of course, I'm going to be doing it with some buddies because $5,000 is a lot of money to pony up. But the pool is going to be significantly smaller, still going to be a lot of money at stake. I'm really excited for this one. So, John Murray, a good friend of mine, said he went over, talked to Derek, said, hey, we're going to do this big time contest. And Derek said, hey, I think you go for it. $5,000 is a nice chunk of change. And that kind of came from their Super Contest Gold, right? Super Contest Gold came out 4 or 5 years ago now, and it is a winner take all, $5,000 to get in that one. And it is steep competition and it is tough. I will not be entering the Pick 5 Super Contest Gold because that is a lot of money and a lot of games for me to pick every single week. But the Survivor one's really exciting for me. And then, of course, this year my prayers have been answered, Andy. Somebody is putting together a college football contest, college football only, right? We know the Golden Nugget still does theirs, where it's been ever evolving right over there. They had their NFL, you could do sides and totals, college football sides and totals. And guys like our good friend Kenny White would just pick off all the bad totals and go like 8 out of 10 every week. And I'm like, come on. And so they've had to adapt. But John Murray, I said, we got to just do a straight college contest. That's all I want, against the spread, as long as they're playing, of course, another Division I team. So that one is $500. I'm going to be entering that one. And then, of course, our friends over at Splash, you guys know I've been a commissioner over there for a long time. I'm going to have a myriad of contests with Kelly and Murray, as well as my own. But I want to talk about theirs right now. They have a $2.5 million guaranteed NFL Survivor, $150 to enter.
Okay,
look,
now we're
talking. You got to do that. I'm sorry, you got to do it. It's guaranteed. So even if the pool does not fill, It does not matter. Right now, they have 385 entries. There's 18,519 available. I'm going to get a few entries in that, some for myself, some with some others. And then, of course, we've got the Kelly and Murray $150,000 guaranteed college football survivor challenge. We did it last year, Andy, and we had a ton of people tie. There was like no college football upsets. I didn't make it hard enough. This year, it's going to be harder. You got to pick 2 college football teams to survive every single week. SEC, nice. Big 12, and Big 10. Yeah, I know. Everybody's mad that I excluded the ACC, but I wanted to make this harder. I wanted to make this fun and enjoyable. $100 to enter that one. John and I don't have this one out yet, but we're going to do what they call a mini losers. It's kind of a play if you watch the show here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. John talks about the mini losers that are on the internet that like to troll people like myself and Ariel Epstein. And so we decided, hey, instead of having to pick NFL winners, what if you had to pick a loser every single week? I mean, the Saints are going to mess around and win a game. The Browns are going to win a handful of games. The Titans are going to win a handful of games. So when you start going through those bottom feeder teams, then what happens? You got to start playing some of these better teams. I'm excited. I think that one's going to be really fun. We're going to do $100 on that one, and I'm hoping it will be out by Friday. And then I'm doing my college football contest against the spread, Andy. 7 college football picks a week against the spread. Every single Power 4 conference plus the Mountain West and the AAC. This one's going to be great because this is like truly a handicapping contest. The nice thing is the lines don't move, but you got to get into the nitty gritty of the college football world. And then we're going to do a $100 buy-in. They're going to guarantee that one. They haven't told me what the guarantee is going to be yet. We're going to do a $500 one, which I guarantee is not going to have a guarantee because last year we only had like 50 some people end up in it, but that's okay because you guys get to play against me. I got my ass kicked last year, as I mentioned, because no dogs were covering and winning outright. It was a frustrating season, to say the least.
All right, so Kelly, can you post these? Can you post some links in the comment section?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Splash contest, I can post you guys a link, splashsports.com / Kelly in Vegas. And obviously you can find them on their homepage. They keep a lot of my stuff pinned up there. So if you see my face, you know it's my contest. If you see John Murray's face, you know it's one from there. And then Ariel Epstein and I are also going to do one, Andy, that I think you might like. It has not gotten approved yet, but I'm going to give you guys a little insight. So we did a hit survivor for MLB, which we're going to run back again this week. But I think we're going to do a touchdown survivor. So
I love this idea. I love this idea.
I love it. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I do think if they can get it approved each week, you just got to pick a guy to score a touchdown and you can't use them again. So hopefully that one gets approved here over the next couple of weeks. She and I are very excited about that. And it gives you something different, right? Like I love sports gambling, but again, my action is limited. I want to find value. I want to find some real underdogs that I think can win outright, right? We know we do my 3-team moneyline parlay posted right here in the short section of the YouTube channel here on Wager Talk, as well as Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that fun stuff. But I really enjoy having some of these because it forces you to, like, you got to make that extra pick. 7 picks a week. That's tough. It forces you to really dig deep and look hard and say, okay, I've got a couple of guys that are right here on my cut list. Who am I actually going to press that button and hit send? And of course, the other contests are in Vegas. You got to fly out there. You got to get yourself a proxy if you don't live in Vegas or you're not planning on flying out every single week. But those ones are really fun because there's just a lot of money involved, right? No way. Okay. I'm a dime, Andy, 2-dime better. I have no chance to make $1 million during the course of a football season, right? But playing in these contests kind of gives you that edge to really hit a big time home run. As I mentioned, I won the mini contest for $15,000 way back in the day there at the Westgate Super Contest. And that felt great. I had some extra Christmas shopping money that year.
All right, let's talk survivor strategies. You can do, there's a ton of things you can do. You can try and do like best favor or the most, like the highest spread, try and pick that one. You could focus on fading certain teams. The most success I've had, I've gotten pretty close. Like I made it to like week 13 and 14 a couple times. By far, the most success I've ever had is planning it out. Like injuries are going to happen, but knowing a direction and looking at the schedule and knowing what teams are on bye instead of just like going week to week and you're like, oh God, I don't have any good teams left, has been easily the best strategy for me. Like literally going 10 weeks out. What's your best strategy for Survivor?
So I actually was just opening up my teammates for the $5,000 one, my good friend CT Betts and John Murray's good friend, Joff, who I met last year when we decided to team up and put our Circa Survivor entries together. Say, all right, now we have a better chance. John obviously can't enter the $5,000 pool because, well, he's the vice president there at the Westgate Superbook. But I can enter it. Chris can enter it, and his good friend can enter it as well. So I've got my sheet up. And what I like to do, honestly, I just go right down. I say, okay, here's what we've got. Week 1, you can take the lines from the Westgate, for example, right? They have all of their lines out. They have a grid out already. It says, here you go. Here's what Denver's going to be week 7, right? Do you want to play them versus the Raiders? I don't know if that's actually the schedule. I only have on mine, Andy. I would share my screen with you, but it won't even let me comment on the YouTube channel. So I can't even do that, but you'll kind of get the idea. I have week 1 all the way down. Now with Splash, weeks 12 through 18, you have to double pick. So I've got a specific spreadsheet for that. I've got a specific one for the Westgate 5K, and I've got a specific one for each Circa Survivor entry I'm going to have, right? And I'm looking deep. I'm already down all the way down to week 18, week 17. All right, I'm looking. I hate playing divisional opponents, right? But we all know as you get to the end there, week 18, guess what? They're all divisional games. And some teams have some things to play for. So you've got to kind of start to ever evolve every single week. I also like to look at a couple different websites. I'll give the guys at survivorgrid.com a shout out. Some of the stuff that they like to do. And then I've seen some other websites where people go on and they predict, hey, maybe this team's going to be the most picked. I saw it on X quite a while ago that everybody thought, hey, week 1, Denver is going to be the most picked team. If you guys remember last year, the Cincinnati Bengals knocked everybody out. So some of my strategies is kind of zigging while others are zagging. And sometimes you don't want to overthink it. Do I think overthinking Denver as a 7.5 point favorite week 1 is a bad idea? Maybe. You've got the Super Bowl winners, Philadelphia, in a divisional game as a 7-point favorite. You've got the Redskins, the Commanders. I still have them written as the Redskins on my page, as a 6.5 point favorite there, but they're also in a divisional game. So there's kind of some rules that I like to lay and some groundwork, and it gets really difficult when some of that information conflicts.
Yeah, that's the other thing is if you're in a contest where you can see the percentage of how many people pick the game, stay away from that game. It's the only way you're going to get ahead in the contest. If like 95% of the people are on a certain game, the only way you're going to cash is if you get a lot of people eliminated. So I love looking at the percentages and saying no, because if everybody keeps advancing every week, the pot's going to be chopped and nobody's going to like walk away with anything. So you got to kind of just try and shake it up and not follow the herd. All right. So some of these college spreads, or is it college survivor or is it college spread?
So so I've got 2 contests, $100, $500. That is 7 games against the spread over there on Splash Sports. They're the exact same format, right? You're going to pick basically any Power 4 AAC as well as the Mountain West. So you're going to have a lot of games to choose from for that. But the college survivor is where it's harder because you're picking 2 games against the week. 2 games a week, just straight up, not against the spread. You just need them to win in advance. But we're only doing SEC, Big 10, and Big 12. So your pool, if you will, of possible teams to use is significantly smaller. I mean, listen, we don't want Alabama as a 36.5 point favorite to be an option. Because it's just not fun,
easy money.
Yeah, I know it's easy money, except for Notre Dame last year is an almost 26 point favorite losing outright to NIU. That was like one of the only really big upsets. And of course, because NIU is not in that mix, you couldn't use NIU. So it was, we had some growing pains last year. We had a lot of guys tie. I know a lot of people were frustrated in that, and I felt really bad. So it's not going to happen. Justin, the only team to play in the ACC is Clemson. We're not using the AAC. People got very mad at me in the comments. Justin's commenting right now. I don't know why I cannot. No profit margin. These contests do cost real American dollars to enter. If $100 is too much, I understand we all have different bankrolls. Go over to Splash. People are doing contests as low as $5, right?
There's a contest for everybody. No matter what your bankroll, they're out there. Bet online as Survivor for $30. If you want just one for fun, fine. You want to enter 10, you get a discount. So there is a price point for everybody. That's the beauty about about these contests. So, are you going to try and do the NFL? I can't imagine trying to do 5 spreads each week. That blows my mind.
Listen,
it's insane. You got to be a narcissist to think you can pick 5 spreads.
You better have an NFL season of a lifetime to win that thing. I mean, listen, but it does happen. Like as I mentioned, Carmine won a quarterly contest on here last year. Mad Rush and Jeff Petch got completely screwed on the tiebreaker rules. I won't say that out loud, but it's true. And so he did take home the 3rd place prize a couple of years ago. And as I mentioned, Las Vegas Chris also, listen, you get hot, you can have an NFL season of a lifetime. As I said, as a dime better in the NFL, maybe 2 dimes if I love a game. No way, no matter how hot I get, I'm never winning $1 million. If you get hot in this contest, there's some big prize pools, especially for some of these quarterly contests at Circa as well as the Superbook. So I think it's worth it. $1,500. Look, here's a good example, Andy. I had a buddy, wife had an accidental 3rd pregnancy, was like, I'm done. I don't want you gambling. You know, he's 40. She's like, you're done gambling. And I said, listen, say you're done gambling. And then say, guess what? Instead of spending, 10 or 12 grand throughout the course of an NFL season, say, I just want $1,000 and I want to enter the contest, right? You have a chance to win over $1 million and it keeps you busy and entertained. 5 picks is a lot to cheer for on an NFL Sunday. I mean, yeah, some will carry over to Monday night and things like that. I will say that one strategy there is that the argument is always don't play the Thursday night game unless you love it, because then all 5 of your picks are locked in. So you've got Friday practice, you've got late injury reports, crazier things have happened. So definitely keep an eye on when you submit your picks, Andy. But me personally, I try not to overthink it too much. If I do love the Thursday night game, I will throw it in the mix once or twice throughout the year.
We could have made $1 million if we would have just kept playing Harry Hall to finish top 40 on the PGA Tour and Aaliyah Boston over rebounds with Caitlin Clark. That's how we could have made $1 million. That was the easiest way to make $1 million.
If I could only bet more than $50 on WNBA props, we would be in business. Okay, Andy?
That's the problem is I'm sure the books are not taking that much money on a WNBA rebound.
Oh, I know. When Marco was really hot there and those WNBA props, I was in New York City. He sent me a nice, easy rebound under. I don't even know who she was. And I went to bet it and I was like, $50. Okay, cool. That's a half a bottle of wine tonight, Ariel. You're welcome.
Yeah, you got to spread the props out across a bunch of different books. That's the only way. All right. So Mike R says, Kelly, give us a pick. Do you have a pick that you like right now? Do you have anything?
I haven't. I just got done filming the opening line report with Teddy Covers. He gave out some nice games that are going to move quickly, right? So keep on watching that show as it ever evolves. He's going to jump in the comments section, let you guys know if he has an emergency betting report. Right now, I'm just on cruise control, guys. There's not a lot going on. I got to work on week 11 of the Premier Lacrosse League, as you can see. I'm headed to Boston this weekend with Ariel Epstein to go watch some of those matches live. Very exciting stuff over there. No picks, though. I don't have anything yet. I know a lot of people on WagerTalk seem to like Iowa State as I head to Dublin in 10 days. The game, I think, is in 21 days. I got to look. Everything is kind of starting. No, it's less than 21 days. It's 19 days now, 23rd of August. I will not be taking the points with Iowa State. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet K-State or not. I've got Fresno State circled against Kansas. But as you guys know, I'm always looking for dogs that I think can win outright. I'm not sure the dogs can actually win that game outright. Mike says Kelly's boring. I'm sorry. You know what that means? It's time to move on to Trig. You guys want Kelly? Okay, Kelly's boring. Let's talk to Trig. Dave said we got lacrosse winner from. Yes, we did. Nice prop bet. Thank you, Dan. That was a fun one as I got completely screwed in overtime. That was rough.
Kelly, as somebody that has hung out with you late night in casino, I can assure you, Mike, she is not boring. There are a lot of adjectives you can use to describe Kelly. Boring ain't one of them. It is.
I have certainly kicked Andy off a blackjack table heater. Chris and I were on a heater. Andy kept coming around, and every time we just kept losing. It's fine. I was like,
cooler.
Andy, if you don't get away from me, he's like, sorry, I was trying to bring you guys drinks. I'm like, no, nobody wants you here.
I was the cooler that night, so I did my part, walked away, and cooled off other tables. So, all right, Kelly is going to be joining us in football season every Monday. We're going to talk about these contests, talk about what's working, what's not working, and give some updates. So, Kelly, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's look forward to a big football season.
Love it. Thanks, Andy.
All right. Kelly, yes, she is going to be joining us on Mondays to talk these contests, talk spreads. Real quick, guys, MLB card today, one of my favorite betting angles, team total best bet, had to be a client play. That is live right now, only $15. I've been locked in on totals, 61% on totals. You guys know I give them out sometimes for free on the show. This one needed to be an official client play. It's sharp, backed by a lot of numbers. It's the exact type of play that we've used for clients all year long. So team totals posted. Grab it now. Let's keep cashing on these team totals. WT.buzz/AL. All right, let's bring in Trig, and we got to talk this Yankees and Rangers game. Yankees fans, most fan bases are passionate, but Yankees fans right now are just like, they are in complete free fall. They hate the manager. They hate the GM. They hate. Is there much to like about this Yankees team right now, Trig? What's going on with them? Oh, we can't hear Trig. He's muted.
That's because my dogs were barking. Sorry about that. We certainly can. We certainly can. I just didn't. I knew if I didn't have that muted, Kelly would be texting me. I hear your dogs. So I had to. I never mute my microphone, but I did right.
You're forgiven.
What I said before I was muted. No, there's still a lot to like for this Yankees fan base. They're getting their best player back tomorrow in Aaron Judge. They went out at the trade deadline and got 7 new players that all theoretically should be pretty good. But now, if you're asking me, Andy, personally, do I like this Yankees team? No, I don't at all. And actually, a bet I've given out on Total Bases, which is our daily baseball show, 9 a.m. Eastern on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, last week, and I would give it out again today, is the Yankees to miss the playoffs because they are in a wild card race with 4 other teams right now. There's essentially 4 teams for 3 spots, and that's not counting a team like the Royals getting hot, who had a very good deadline as well. This Yankees team's not catching the Blue Jays. I'll tell you that right now. I don't think that that's possible given how good the Blue Jays are this year, and I just don't see them choking that AL East lead away. So if the Yankees have to win a wild card spot, you mean to tell me that they're right now you can get 5 or 6 to 1 on the Yankees to miss the playoffs, and they are basically in even with three other teams, the Red Sox, the Mariners, and the Rangers, who they play tonight. I see more upside on those 3 teams than I do the Yankees. At least equal upside, I would say. So for that reason, I think Yankees to miss the playoffs is a very, very good bet at the number where it is right now.
All right. I want to run this one by you. Rangers over 3.5 on their team total. Freed. Come on, man. 3 or more runs scored against them in 5 straight games. There's errors involved. It's like he's battling an injury and his team keeps dropping the ball and throwing it away. Like, just bad juju all around for Fried in his last 5 starts. So I like the Rangers to get over 3.5. Bad or good pick by me. And you're not going to hurt my feelings.
No, I don't disagree with that at all. He's given up 2 or more earned runs in 5 straight starts. And the way I would look at this game would be to find some way to play the Rangers. So maybe some way to oppose the Yankees. I actually looked at a Yankees team total under. So just there's a couple of different ways to go about it. The way I would have really loved to bet this was Rangers on the run line plus 1.5. But this morning, when it was announced that Aaron Judge would likely not come back until tomorrow, that line moved a little bit. So it sort of got out of the range. I think that Rangers plus 1.5 lines up to like minus 135, minus 130, minus 135 at this point. So about 20 cents off from where it was earlier this morning. As far as the Rangers scoring, their lineup is not great per se. When you compare it to some of the better lineups in the American League, it definitely lacks. But for long stretches in the first half, they didn't have Corey Seager. He's back and healthy. Wyatt Langford missed some time. He's back. And it's really going to come down to Bruce Bochy pushing the right buttons, because he's got guys and they do some good things. They play some small ball and they're able to manufacture runs. And the biggest concern I have right now with the Yankees, Andy, is just that there's so many mental errors, and that tends to snowball. If you watch that series, I watched every minute of that series with the Marlins this weekend. Couldn't have been happier. It's just, listen, I grew up, I'm from New York. I'm not a Yankee fan, but I'm a lifelong New Yorker. I've lived in New York my entire life. All my friends are Yankee fans. The melting down never gets old for me. It's I know, like, that's mean, whatever. I love to see it. I just love, because when I was a kid, Andy, I had to deal with like the Yankee dynasty. And it was just constant. They're the greatest thing ever. This weekend was just a joy to watch. I love that Marlins team. And it was just mistake after mistake. Jazz Chisholm base running mistake. Austin Wells forgetting there's 3 outs in the inning. Caballero lets a ball go under his glove in right field on Friday that leads to them getting walked off. That type of stuff definitely can snowball. And when I'm looking at this game, give me the Rangers in some fashion. I'll go back to that +1.5 line. Patrick Corbin's a veteran. He's had a great season for what he is at this point. And then the Rangers right now, Andy, 3.35 bullpen ERA. It's 4th best in the league. They have a bunch of good relievers, a great collection of relievers. So even though they don't have the big-time high leverage guys, the bullpen is still very good. I think the Rangers are the better of these two teams. And going back to my initial bet, Yankees to miss the playoffs, it's because I think this Rangers team is a superior team. So I'll take the Rangers in some fashion here.
All right. First off, tell us what you have up for clients up at WagerTalk. And we talked a little bit about college football. They said give us a team to possibly fade, and I believe you brought up Syracuse. So tell everyone what you have up at WagerTalk and give us a couple lines on Syracuse.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have a great special at WagerTalk right now. It's basically a free month. So if you lock in for 3 months, or, I think it's like the cost of 2 months, you get 3. That'll be the best value that we can offer right now. I'm going to have baseball in both MLB and KBO by the end of the day. And so that would be covered on that. So check that out. It's on my page. And I think that's good for all handicappers. So, if it's not me, take advantage of that with someone else. As far as Syracuse is concerned, Andy, that's where I live, Central New York. It's one of the teams I follow closely. I'm not too deep into college football where I'm following the whole league, but I've got like 3 or 4 teams that I get, that I either know people close to the program or Syracuse. They're right in my backyard. And so I do follow those teams very closely. And I don't have much faith in the Syracuse team being better than the market this year. So I think that's important to point out. Last year, Syracuse won 10 games. It was a historic season for Kyle McCord. As long as I can remember watching Syracuse football, we haven't had a quarterback like that. It was just a tremendous year and a great finish to the year, too. Getting to that 10-win mark, beating Miami on the final day of the season, winning the bowl game. It was just a great year for Syracuse football. And they have lost, not only have they lost McCord, but they have lost so much talent from last year's team. And now you take the, you take the sheer number of contributors that they lost from last year, and then look at this schedule, which is much tougher than last year's. First 6 weeks of the season at Tennessee, at Clemson, at SMU. There's a 3-week stretch late where it's UNC, at Miami, at Notre Dame. I just find it hard to believe that this team, gets to a bowl game. I don't even know if they get 5 wins. I wouldn't be surprised if they're 4-8 this year. Because the other thing, Andy, go ahead.
No. Keep going. I'm loving this.
Well, Andy, they made a lot. So you want to talk about a team that was like Fran Brown, such a great energy guy, but like from an in-game standpoint, they were very poorly coached last year. A lot of mistakes on special teams, and just they got bailed out a lot of times by McCord just being just a total G, making every play, every throw, and then some really good skill players just making big-time plays. LaQuinn Allen, Trebor Pena, no longer with the program, right? Like, I felt like they got bailed out so many times where that 10-win season could have easily been 6. Now all those guys making the big-time plays and bailing them out are not there. And it's like, how are you going to overcome these mistakes in game without that top-tier talent? I think it could get ugly for this team. That first 6-week stretch, it's hard to believe they're anything other than 2-4, maybe wins over Colgate and UConn. After that, it just doesn't get any easier. So I think Syracuse is going to be a pretty good fade this year.
I love this. I can't give him credit. I can't remember his name, but I love it when he's like, if you think you have a good read on a team that's going to be bad, he's like, take alt unders. Like, because if the season goes bad for him, like you can get some incredible like plus 300 on some of those. So yeah, if you have a good read on a team to go under, he's like you could really take advantage. He points to some of them in college and NFL. So good stuff. I love unders on futures. I think that's the best way to go. So great stuff, Adam, and thank you for jumping in last second. And yes, you can check out Adam Trigger at Adam Trigger WT on social media. All right. I mentioned the MLB team total is up. Also, 5% UFC play is up. That play is like less than -110. That's like -104. So you want to get a UFC 5%er locked in. I would recommend getting that ASAP before those lines move. So far, not enough line movement to be worried about anything. So MLB team total is up. UFC 5% is up. Now let's do some free plays and go all around the world here. We got a couple of baseball plays and a soccer play. We're doing a Ralph Michaels special. Royals at Red Sox. Murphy, no run first inning. Royals 3-1. Murphy run only scored a first inning run once in the last 11 road games. Red Sox 5-1. Murphy run failed to score a first run inning in 12 out of the last 14 home games. So you got Royals struggling on the road. Red Sox struggling at home in the first inning, and both pitchers not giving up first inning runs. Let's go to Leagues Cup. Pachuca at Houston Dynamo. Pavlos likes Pachuca minus 0.25 in regulation. Houston is eliminated from this competition, and in 4 days they have an MLS game against Austin, a fellow Texas team. So Pavlos thinks they're probably not going to give a you-know-what about this game. Meanwhile, Pachuca probably advances with a win, so they have motivation. Houston has none. So we're looking at regulation play there. And then Giants at Pirates. Pirates over 1.5 team total first 5 innings. Verlander, 2 great outings in a row. I'm not really buying it. Before the last 2 starts, he gave up 2 or more runs in 13 out of 15 starts. Pirates over 2 runs, first 5 in 9 out of the last 12 games. So we're looking at Royals and Red Sox. Murphy looking at Houston Dynamo to lose. And we like the Pirates over 1.5 team total, first 5 innings. All right, guys, that's going to do it for it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys for joining us today. Rab, I see you. My stadiums are on the wrong side. I can put them on the other side if it makes you happy. Anything for you, my brother. Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you're not a WagerTalk YouTube insider, it's only $2.99 a month. Starting this month, you're going to get a $5 coupon. You get all the emojis, you get all the badges, and a $5 coupon, and we are going to have special insider access to content only available to WagerTalk YouTube subscribers. So take advantage of that, wt.buzz/insiders. Jam-packed show today. We're going to get after it again tomorrow. NFL preseason is here, and we got tons of other sports to break down. So good luck on all your plays today.